and I maybe am a little biased because I saw Arizona play a couple times this week in person, and I would like to think it's more reason why
We interrupt your regular scheduled programming for this special presentation from Wildcats Radio 1290. Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down, into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball begins with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Karchinkov driving right on Jefferson. Stops at the right block. Out for Krivas. Jumper up and good from about 15 feet. Out to Buchanan high post. Handed back to Lipsy. Splits the defense into the paint. Little runners up and good.
Yeah, Lipsy just so crafty. Able to split the double team there. Get into the paint for a little floater.
Rebound. Pete inside. Double teamed. Kick it off for Karchinkov. 6 to shoot. Into the lane. Laid up and good. Bounce it to Jefferson. Posted up on Pete. Banging him. Jumper in the lane. Around and good.
Yeah, Jefferson just so tough down there on that block area.
Works it high left now. Looking for Momcilovic. He'll get it. He'll shoot the three. It's good. Cats looking to regain the lead. Pete stops top of the key. Throw it down for Awaka. Posted. Right corner. Del Orso. Another three. Good again for Delhi, and the Cats are in front. Kick it out to Torre. Gets to the left elbow. Fadeaway is up and good. Well, he's got the hot hand. 12 points for Kylian Torre, a freshman out of France. Arizona ball the other way. Bradley crosses midcourt. Wildcats to their half court. Jaden will drive left to the lane. Scoop shot up and good for two.
Excellent job by Jaden Bradley, realizing you can get to the rim versus a team with little rim protection.
Cannon holding the ball out top. Dribbles left, handed to Lipsy. 5 to shoot. A 3 to tie. It's good. Lipsy with his first 3 of the game. Ties the game at 80. 15 seconds left. Arizona will not call a timeout. Bradley walks it across midcourt. 8 seconds left. 7, 6, 5. Bradley driving on Torre. Looking for the shot. Drives right. Hang it from there. It's good! And the Cats have won it! Jaden Bradley hangs it for 2. Cats on to the finals!
Jaden Bradley, an absolute closer. The player of the year, makes a play of the year play at the end.
Oh my goodness. Torre and Bradley battling back and forth. Defense to offense. Finally, Bradley found a seam, a shiver to get in the air and put it in. Arizona on to the championship game tomorrow. Cats 82, Cyclones 80, the final in Kansas City. I'm glad Bradley's okay because his teammates piled on top of him to the other side.
Did you see J-Rock, Justin Kukowski, the trainer for the Arizona Wildcats? Literally, he came running over and was like trying to peel guys off of the pile so that nothing happened to Jaden Brad. I don't know that I always get really scared on dog piles because I was at the bottom of one year I was in 8th grade. I was playing football, and I got underneath awkwardly a fumble scrum, kind of like that, and I got literally my neck got turned underneath my body, and guys were like piling on, and that is like. I always cringe sometimes when, especially in baseball, we see those dog piles and stuff a lot of times after games. And a buddy of mine whose daughter went to University of Arizona, played in the big leagues, Denny Hawking. He got somebody stepped. Played baseball for the Twins. The Twins won a division, and he got his finger got cut because somebody stepped on his hand under a dog pile one time, and he couldn't play in the AL division series.
How about Tucson High, Kelvin? Tucson
Those
High.
things scare me.
Tucson High, 20 years ago, there was a celebration. A guy got a neck injury.
Yeah.
Right? A serious injury.
Right.
Yeah, it's so dangerous when you get all your teammates in that moment celebrating a giant victory. And hey, let's just make sure everybody gets out okay.
Well, you mentioned that, right? That incident right there. I think that was what started. I don't know if you know the local organization, Coaches for Charity. That's what started it, because I think that young man had a scholarship somewhere, and he couldn't, obviously couldn't go on to the collegiate level to play. And that was the whole purpose of them starting Coaches for Charity initially, was to take care of kids in situations like that maybe got hurt in their senior year and couldn't go on.
Didn't he get like a partial paralysis?
College.
I think it was a serious big deal.
Yeah. Were you talking about the kid from
Tucson High? Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. Yeah, I remember that, man. That was dangerous, man. And I remember ever since then, when I saw the people rushing the court, I always took my players away from the court, because I was just like, hey, it's not worth it, to have, one of your players. But he ended up going to Stanford anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he ended up
they honored his scholarship.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day, and we've got you for the next 3 hours, getting you set for the Houston Cougars and the Arizona Wildcats in the Big 12 championship game on the men's side for the second year in a row. Let's let you know what we've got in store for you over the course of the next few hours of our program.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, we'll review last night's win over the Iowa State Cyclones on the game-winning shot by Jaden Bradley. We'll get our first look at the Houston Cougars. Second time these two teams have played. Wildcats won down at the Fertitta Center in Texas earlier this year. That's brought to you by Window Depot. Your view from courtside, we're going to chat with Pete Mundo, who covers the Big 12 for Heartland Sports. He is a member of the Cumulus Media family. Pete dabbles in both news and sports. He's our vice president of news, actually. So he's technically my boss, because I kind of run the news talk station here at KTUC as well. So we'll talk to Pete Mundo, get his perspective. He's been at the Big 12 Conference Tournament Championship all week long. Spotlight on a Cat, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Mackenzie Hamilton caught up with Toby Awaka after last night's dramatic win. We'll hear what Toby had to say about it all. We'll check the scoreboard. A lot of conference championship games on this final day before the tournament announcement tomorrow. DK sort of with TL. We'll hear the head coach's thoughts on the court change from glass back to hardwood. We'll get your Scotty report. Joseph Duarte writes the Cougars beat for the Houston Chronicle. We'll get his thoughts on everything happening around Kelvin Sampson's program. Your pest of the game, who'll be that Cougar that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin today? We'll find out on that, courtesy of Essential Pest Control. Can we beat the book? U of A, just a 1.5-point favorite in this game today, as we've got number 2 and number 5. Your over-under even lower than yesterday at 138.5. Could be a defensive struggle, especially after what we saw from Kansas in their attempt to try to beat Houston last night. We will check in with the head coach. Mackenzie Hamilton had a chance to talk with Tommy Lloyd today ahead of the game. Keys to the game brought to you by Royal Automotive. And we'll get your starting lineup, which is presented by Rocking K. Jaden Bradley with the game winner to beat the Iowa State Cyclones after the game. Jaden on the shot.
Really didn't. Just went with the flow. It was a crazy shot. It was great defense. Just had it going. Iowa State's a tough defensive team. So if you call a timeout, they probably get their defense set. So it was just a crazy shot, but it was a great defense for sure.
Were you expecting a timeout to be called there? I mean, was it just kind of go with the flow because of the previous 2 minutes? Just take us through your head a little bit of that, and if you were thinking the guy to your left there was going to give you show the timeout.
It was a crazy 2 minutes, a lot of shot making, crazy plays. But I was just looking at Coach, seeing when he wanted, kind of communicated. He said go. I was trying to figure out what they were going to do. They were trapping all night, so just trying to read and react, and it was just a crazy shot.
Well, when I looked at JB dribbling the ball up, he wasn't looking at me. He was waving everybody down, so I knew what we were doing. And I had made the mistake. I had a timeout. I use it or lose it in the first half, and I called it. And man, I think they had a 9-0 run after it. So, because they went up, and I knew they were going to trap, and we just didn't have the greatest timeout, let's put it that way. And we came out and it kind of, we had worked really hard in that first half to get up 3, and we wanted to finish, tied or, up, and we ended up down 6. So I wasn't going to make the same mistake again. And giving JB some space, and he kind of played chess out there a little bit, moved the guys around where he wanted them, and he got to a spot. And, it's a shot we've seen him hit a lot this year.
Not like that. Not like that. We haven't seen him hit that shot. We've seen him hit some big shots, but nothing like that to win a ball game before. And it was truly something to watch. Kelvin, as a guy that's played the guard position, just what did you just like about the way that he set himself up for that?
Well, what I first liked is that he looked at the court and made sure that no double teams were coming. He understood how much time that he had. He wanted to make sure he took the last shot. I think what Coach is also talking about is that we know he can make that shot is from how many times he's probably done that shot at practice, which is 1,000,000 times. And so when you do it the times in the big games, it's not as big of a deal. So, yeah, man, I just think it's one of those things where there's just trust. He came down with the ball. He looked around. There wasn't a double. He thought of trying to bag him down and thinking that he can get to his usual elbow spot, but he recognized that the guy was taking that away. So he just tried to separate and get a little air room, in which dribbling away from the basket, the guy kind of didn't expect that, but he recovered quick and got his hand up. But JB got that just enough room to get the ball high over the front of the rim for the finish.
Yeah, I mean, he elevated for sure to get that shot off for the winner there for the Arizona Wildcats. Tommy Lloyd on the big win to get his team back into the tournament conference finals.
Well, obviously, guys, it was a great game, an epic battle, and I respect Iowa State so much. I mean, I thought they played really well today. Their shot making, was, different than when we played them like 10 days ago. And, they're a good team, and they were a very good version of themselves today, and they really made us dig deep. Literally for 40 minutes. I mean, we were just trying to hang on by a thread to stay in the game, and our guys just did a great job of being steady, keeping us competitive and then allowing us to make a few runs. And, I talked a lot last night. I think you guys need to talk to these guys. These guys were way better players than I'll ever be as a coach today. I mean, they were amazing, and just handling that deal because, Iowa State's a team you really – you think you have a plan, it just doesn't work. And we have an acronym that we use, that I use a lot, FIO, figure it out. And we practice a lot of figure it out situations, and where the players got to kind of, in the moment, figure out the right plays to make with the right fundamentals. And when they do that, when they're figuring things out, complicated things, we're our best version of ourselves. So.
Kelvin, that's why I love a coach that gives freedom, especially to guards. And that's what Coach Olson did for the entire time on campus at the U of A. You teach during practice. The week is for teaching fundamentals. The games, Kelvin, are for giving your players the freedom to make their own decisions, because you can't be looking over to the sideline every minute to try to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. It's so much read and react. And I love the fact that Coach Lloyd, Kelvin, gives his guards especially the freedom to make choices like that.
Yeah, no, as you said, that's the same with Coach Olson. I always like that, except there's that little 10% of time where you want to make
like
sure.
Call a play.
Yeah. You want to make sure the right guy gets the ball, and then if he don't have it and he move it to somebody else and they take the shot, fine. But at least we tried to get the ball where we wanted to get the ball. But in this instance, and in a lot of instances with Coach Olson's teams, it was the guards who you wanted with the ball. So that's why you're lucky in this situation. It's different if Core Pete. If you wanted Core Pete to get that ball, you would have to run a play to be able to get him that ball. If you wanted Del Orso to get that ball in a shooting position, because you want him to catch and shoot, he's not going to really create off the dribble, you would have to run a play. But if you have dynamic guards or guards that you trust because they've shown you that they can make those shots, like a Brandon Berries, that's another guy that he wouldn't have called timeout for if he had the ball. But I think it's two guys, Jaden Bradley and Brandon Berries. Anybody else would have had that ball, he would have called timeout because he would have wanted to make sure that he got the shot that the team wanted it. I do agree with the free flow play. We learn a lot from these coaches in game. So if the right guy has the ball, as I said before, usually it's the coach on the floor, as they call it, one of those guards.
Big game for Anthony Del Orso in the contest last night. 26 points, 10 of 14 shooting, 6 of 9 from three. He and Milan Momcilovic went back and forth at the end of that game. Anthony Dell'Orso on the two Europeans battling it out for a spot in the title game.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player, obviously great shooter. You know, you've seen what he's done all year. Two great teams ultimately going at it. I mean, Coach said it was like a chess match, like out there. Everyone was playing at their best and their highest intent, and he was making good shots, we were making good shots, and we were able to get it done.
Anthony, to further expand on that, what does it feel like when you're like in that zone? Is it you like explain the confidence that you have when you've got it going that you can just fire away from anywhere and you have the confidence that it's going in?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. Obviously, you know, you see a couple go down and you just keep getting more and more confidence. I mean, I said before, it's like shooting in the ocean and you feel like you can't miss. And, you know, JB and a bunch of other teammates found me in great spots and I felt like I was open all the time and I was able to knock them down tonight.
26 points off the bench for Anthony Dell'Orso last night, the most by an Arizona bench player since Hassan Adams had 26 in 2004. So the best bench
that
performance
was power forward Hassan Adams,
22 years.
That was when Hassan was playing the four, Kelvin. That was a different Hassan Adams year. Yeah, man, that was a crazy year.
Let's hear from Milan Momcilovic, who had Ivan Karchinkov's number in that battle last night.
Give credit to Krejcikov. He's just one of the better defenders in this league. And when I remember playing him down in Arizona, I was like, damn, he's a good defender. He held me to 5 points. But just really watching the film, kind of seeing where I can just get a little bit of separation on him, whether pushing off or going under the screen. So I think my teammates did a really good job of setting me screens today, and I just had to knock down the shots.
Yeah, I mean, he was as fabulous. 10 for 18 shooting, 28 points, 8 for 14 from behind the arc. And I mean, his looks, some of his looks, you just wondered, how did that ball go in? I mean, it looked a lot like some of the European players, shooters that we've seen over the years who just kind of have a knack for throwing that ball up at the rim and it going in.
He's kind of got the Draws and Petrovic kind of release, Kelvin.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick release. My favorite play was when he pump faked from 30 feet out and Tobe Awaka launched himself in the air to try to block the shot. Like, that's respect, right? When you're shooting 50% from three, yeah, that guy, you can't give him any airspace, Kelvin, because he's 6'9", and really quick release. So, yeah, tough guard.
And mine was the 1-footer. You know, coming off one leg.
At the end of the half, yeah.
Yeah, you're not expecting that when you're guarding a guy. You're expecting him to set both feet and get it off. So he got that off clean, and as with all his shots that he get it off clean, is bottom. So yeah, that was our guys needed to do a better job of connecting with him at half court. He's a guy that you can't let get free in transition because again, it's like a layup for that guy. So he's stopping at that three and letting it go.
14-2 was the count at the outset for ISU. Ivan Karchinkov discusses what Arizona did to kind of turn things back in their favor.
They made everything at the beginning, and we didn't play our best defense, not as physical, not as energetic as we should. And then, after the first time out, we said, like, hey, guys, we cannot, keep doing like that. And we came here to win. So, we just, figured it out, played even harder than we did, and, just chipped away at it a little bit.
And let's hear from T.J. Oldsberger, the head coach of the Iowa State Cyclones, his thoughts on his team's buzzer-beating loss to the Wildcats.
I'd like to congratulate Arizona. They're a tremendous program. Coach Lloyd does a terrific job. They have an outstanding team, and they've got a lot in front of them. So they deserve all the credit. They were able to make one more play tonight.
TJ, it looked like you were agonizing whether or not to call timeout before that last defensive possession. Just walk us through your thinking in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times we would call a timeout, late from a defensive standpoint to get our defense set. We felt good about our guys. We want to be able to communicate. We had a little extra time with the ball kind of rolling around, so we had extra time to communicate that we wanted to be in our switch five. And so a lot of times we call a timeout to do that, but because of the flow of the game, we're able to establish that. And look, at the end of the day, I mean, Killian guarded Bradley as perfectly as you could guard him. I mean, there's for us as a defensively, again, Bradley's a winning player, a fierce competitor, and at the same time, the offensive possession that they had and Killian being right there, if you're on the defensive side of things, with the exception of knowing that Bradley's such a competitor, you take that side of the equation, most nights.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot fault the defense there by Killian Torrey. That's gotta really stink if you're a player who plays defense like that and a guy hits a shot over you to win a game.
I see it as the ultimate tip your cap game, Kelvin, because when the two teams combine to go 12 for 14 down the stretch, and it's just shot making after shot making, making the last 6 3-pointers, and the defense from Killing Torrey on that final shot by Jaden Bradley, not to mention the shot, with 40 seconds left, Jaden Bradley hit another really tough shot in a very similar thing. So you got to tip your cap. Both sides, whoever won that game, Kelvin, it was hyper competitive, both sides competing, defensive struggles in the early time, but shot making down the stretch. How can you fault your own players? They were in the right position. There wasn't some bunk play that led to the loss. So that's the ultimate tip your cap game to me.
Yeah, to me, when he saw his best defender on him, I think that made him a little comfortable where he didn't have to, call the timeout. And then the guy did a great job. And actually, like you say, the tip your hat word or, hey, shake his hand. But, hey, that's hey, you hit that one right. It remind me when I used to play Mike D. I used to be all over him. But the reality of it was I was 6'1" and he was 6'4", right? And he could get it right just enough over me. I could jump high, but he could get it that nice arc, if you remember him. And he would knock it down, and I couldn't be mad about it, man. You had to just be like, hey, he's one of them ones. So, man, that was a tough shot by the MVP. You can't feel nothing but shake his hand and say, man, good shot, bro.
All right, it is the Wildcats and the Houston Cougars today for the Big 12 Tournament Championship, second year in a row. We'll start to take a look at the game when we return. It's Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Calvin Efon is here at JW Madden. My name is David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Advantage Air and Mechanical, Cactus Auto Company, Casino del Sol, Done Right Services, Drain Masters, First Chiropractic, Idaho Central Credit Union, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks, Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, The Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
It's a full court press this March at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Join our $1 million March Mania promotion for your shot at $1 million with your bracket picks. Or win $100,000 with a perfect prop card now through April 6th. Swipe your Club Soul card daily for a free drawing entry. Plus, every 200 slot and table points is an additional entry. Then join us April 6th for the grand finale drawing, only at Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
Morning begins in the Rincon foothills. Rocking K, a master-planned community and place to call home, offering distinct neighborhoods designed to fit your lifestyle. Explore the outdoors, walk the trails, visit Saguaro National Park. Enjoy community parks and make new friends at Rocking K resident events. Walk to Vail School District's newest campus in Rocking K, Saguaro Creek. 17 model homes, 6 quality builders, move-in ready homes available from the 300s. Rocking K, designed by nature. A community by design.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management. As a boutique fiduciary investment firm, our clients have trusted us to guide them down their financial paths for decades. Whether you are an individual or family, business, foundation, or nonprofit, we are committed to your long-term goals and financial futures. We are proud supporters of the Tucson community and all that makes our city so special. Visit online at meridianwealthllc.com to learn more about Meridian today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Coach, Tommy Lloyd here with the Right Way team.
Great news. Free furnace season has been extended through the end of March. Have you been thinking about replacing your heating and cooling system this year? To spark business, we're giving away an 80% gas furnace or a heat pump air handler with the purchase of a new air conditioning system.
And we're offering up to 60 months no interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 to book your free estimate today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Ready to update your kitchen? Create a spa-inspired bathroom or a backyard oasis? Put the equity in your home to work for you with a home equity line of credit from Hughes. Borrow between $10,000 and $250,000 and enjoy flexible terms and no prepayment penalties. With Hughes Federal Credit Union's one-rate guarantee, there's no switching rates based on your credit score. All our members get our same low rate. Learn more at hughesfcu.org/HELOC. Insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender. Certain restrictions apply.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Evers to Ngala, and Ngala's just going to hold on to it. Two Hall of Famers come together. Sampson and Self begin the handshake line. As Ngala dribbles it out, there's the final horn. Houston has been in the Big 12 for 3 seasons, and the Houston Cougars are headed to their 3rd consecutive Big 12 tournament championship game.
Yes.
Houston 69, Kansas 47.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
All right, well, is this the Houston tournament then? Because they seem to always be in this game, at least since they came to this league. So that's they've been in it 3 years and been here 3 times. We've been in it 2 years and been here 2 times. So,
and like I said last night in the
make
post,
that a regular thing.
Like I said last night in the post, Iowa State's won 5 out of the last 11. So you wonder why their fans drive down from Ames to Kansas City for this tournament. They're used to being successful. So these last couple of years, the newcomers have found a way into the final.
Drive home safely. Back to Ames. What is it? They said 3 hours or something of that nature?
Yeah, same as here to Flagstaff.
Yeah, exactly. Big win last night for them. I mean, absolutely destroying Kansas. We talked about it on the postgame show last night. Kansas missed at one point 17 consecutive shots. Their final shot of the first half. Their first 16 shots of the second half. You don't see that.
Bro, they made
very
like
often.
14 total field goals, didn't they?
Yeah.
In the game?
Yeah. Craziness.
They made 14 out of 57 for 25%.
Milos Uzan said, hey, we owed them one after they kicked our butt in Lawrence.
I feel like we had that in the back of our mind, just knowing what they did to us at their spot. I think it was a little personal for us, and we wanted to kind of get some get back. I'm just glad we was able to and throw the first punch for sure.
Milos Uzan. Kelvin Sampson on the Cougars doing it how they do it, and that's by playing really good defense.
We don't play to a lot of possessions by design. It's just how we play. So I'm assuming there was probably 63 to 65 possessions tonight on offense, which means there's 63 to 65 possessions on defense. Against a good defensive team, you're going to have 10 possessions where it's going to look bad. It's like, we've been a good defensive team for a long time, and we've played against a lot of really good offenses that just have a lot of bad possessions. Sometimes you create a defense, and sometimes kids just miss shots. But I thought our defense was connected.
That's interesting kind of way of. So basically 1/6 of the possessions that you play, you're going to have a bad one at the defensive end of the floor. Does that kind of, Kelvin, kind of check out to the norm of what most teams go through?
That's not most teams, though.
Right.
Not their style. It's not most teams. Yeah. Well, to me, Kelvin, real quick, I think if you're hyper aggressive on the double team and a team finds a way to swing that back to an open side, that's what he's talking about, DK, is that if you're a hyper aggressive double teaming team in the post, ball handlers on high ball screens, Houston famously always hard doubles those ball handoffs. And if you can, Kelvin, find a way to swing that ball and find the open shooter, that's one of those. That's the 1 out of 6.
Yeah, and teams just making shots at the end of the day. That's what, sometimes you make you can play the best defense in the world and the ball is falling through, similar to last night for Iowa State at the beginning of that game. So, yeah, you just got to lock in and believe in your defense, and that's what Houston does.
60, what do you say? It's 63 possessions is generally what they have in their game. Do we have any idea how many possessions we had last night? I don't know if that's an active stat that is available.
Well, all you have to do is look at free throws, field goal attempts, and turnovers. You just add those all up. That's your possessions, right?
So then we would have had we had 58 shots, 16 field goal attempts, so about 74 would be kind of maybe about that number.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. All right. So less. What could be the issue in less possessions then today offensively for Arizona?
Well, because Houston's trying to keep it in the 50s, right? Like Houston's trying to beat you 58-51. And Kelvin, I mean, the less possessions that another team has, and that's not 4 corners from Dean Smith. That's not taking the air out of the ball and playing as slow as humanly possible, but it's also slowing the offensive team down, right, Kelvin? I mean, those hard doubles I'm talking about, their ball pressure makes it so difficult to run a clean offense, and that extends your offensive possessions, and their offensive possessions, they're going to play some half court, try to get their guards busy. So that's what leads to low-scoring games and low possession games.
139 points was scored the last time these two teams got together down in Houston, a game in which the Wildcats, again, won by a score of 73-66.
I will say this, guys. This is not the Houston team from last year or the year before, right? They gave up 84. They gave up 85. They've given up some high numbers this year, which we haven't seen that, Kelvin Ifan. The last 2-3 years, teams are lucky to score in the mid-60s versus Kelvin Sampson's team. So the idea that, Houston's defensive philosophy is crazy aggressive, and they're clearly, when they're on like that. But Kingston Flemings, as the point, he's not the same dude, Kelvin, as they've had at running that point. Their point guards the last 3, 4, 5 years have been just defensive stalwart.
Yeah, and grown men. Most of their point guards has been 4 and 5 years seniors.
220.
Right, and that's the reason why a guy like Milos Uzan is important, because yes, they let Kingston kind of run things, but it's going to be on those seniors, him and Emmanuel Sharp, really to step up if they really want to get it done versus a team like U of A.
This will be the 16th meeting all-time between these two teams. Houston leads the all-time series 8-7, but again, the Wildcats won earlier this year. Houston winning that Big 12 championship last year by 8. They lost the year before in the title game to the aforementioned Iowa State Cyclones. Kelvin Sampson knows he is going to have to deal with what he calls the best bigs in the Big 12 in order to get another title today.
But Duncan's hard to score on. That's why Joe didn't score. There's no knock against Joe. Sometimes you just have to give the other kid credit. It's not going to be easy scoring on Awaka and Krivas. Doesn't mean we got a bad post game. It's just that Krivas and Awaka are elite defenders. There's a reason why they're a top 3 team in the nation. So if we don't score tomorrow, don't ask me what's wrong with our post scoring. It's them. It's not always you. So Chris didn't score in the post tonight. He scored from 20 feet out. So it's all a lot of it has to do with matchups. Some guys Joe can score on a little bit easier than others, but when you start playing guys like Badanga and Krivas and Awaka, there's a reason those teams are elite defensively.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We're getting you set for the number 2 Arizona Wildcats, the number 5 Houston Cougars down in Kansas City at the T-Mobile Arena. Tip-off coming up today at 3 o'clock. We've got you till 2:30. 520-848-1290 is the number if you'd like to get in on the program with your thoughts on U of A basketball and lots in store for you on this show as we will be going back out to Kansas City twice to give you a look at what's happening ahead of today's game. Let's hear right now. We'll put the wrap on that. That is our first look at today's game.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors the top rebounding performance in today's contest. It is your Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. Might be the Wildcat with the most rebounds. Could be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. Also, possibly somebody from the other team. We'll tell you the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game coming up tonight. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the post-game show. All right, coming up, we'll head out to Kansas City. We'll check in, get your view from courtside. Pete Mundo from Heartland Sports covers all things Big 12. We'll find out a little bit about what Heartland is all about and get Pete's perspective on this Big 12 tournament that we have seen this week. It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Kelvin Efon is here. JW Madden. My name is David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Ready to update your kitchen? Create a spa-inspired bathroom or a backyard oasis? Put the equity in your home to work for you with a home equity line of credit from Hughes. Borrow between $10,000 and $250,000 and enjoy flexible terms and no prepayment penalties. With Hughes Federal Credit Union's one-rate guarantee, there's no switching rates based on your credit score. All our members get our same low rate. Learn more at hughesfcu.org/HELOC. Insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender. Certain restrictions apply.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
So, what is it that scares you the most?
The blue trucks from Essential Pest Control, Doctor. They leave bugs belly up.
I use one of those national companies.
Thanks, Doc. Those guys don't scare me.
Spring is bug season. Go blue with Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. Buy local and stop paying too much with those national providers. Essential Pest Control is a bug's worst nightmare.
I can't sleep at night.
Essential Pest Control. Call 866-3029. That's 866-3029. Or visit essentialpest.com.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Done Right Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, choose a genuine local Tucson company, Done Right Services. With decades of trusted experience and upfront pricing, Done Right Services treats every customer like a valued neighbor. From upgrades to urgent repairs, our licensed professionals deliver quality, care, and craftsmanship you can count on, getting it done right. Call Done Right Services today at 520-369-3966 because you deserve it done right.
Prepare yourself. Something extraordinary is about to break loose right in the center of town. Get ready for Casino del Sol. Bigger, brighter, bolder. We are where excitement doesn't just rise, it erupts. We are where fun doesn't just elevate, it takes flight. We aren't just a casino. We are the beginning of a new era. We are Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster garage door opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
At Goldberg & Osborne, We know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of five-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Cats looking to regain the lead. Pete stops top of the key. Throw it down for Awaka. Posted, right corner, Del Orso. Another three. Good again for Deli, and the Cats are in front.
Why not? He's the hot hand.
It's time now for us to take you down to the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Southern Arizona over 30 years.
That might actually be the baseline of the arena in Kansas City. It seemed like that's where all the cool videos of Shaden Bradley's shot were coming from after last night's game. Let's chat with Pete Mundo. He's with Heartland College Sports. He is also a member of our Cumulus family, our vice president of news, which means, he keeps an eye on us here in our other AM station, KTUC, as well. He's a news and a sports guy. Pete, appreciate the opportunity to have you on the show live from Kansas City. First of all, give us an assessment of, for maybe people don't know what Heartland College Sports. We're all still new to the Big 12. Is your website strictly all Big 12? What all do you guys cover?
Yeah, it started 10 years ago, and it was just me, a laptop, and at that point it was 10 Big 12 teams, and now we're at 16. We've obviously lost a couple more. We've added 8, so there's been a lot of iterations of it. But, we've grown this thing now where we've got readers all over the Big 12 at heartlandcollegesports.com and YouTube channel and podcasts and the whole deal. So we're still introducing ourselves to Arizona fans as well. But more are coming in and more are finding us, and we're thrilled about that.
Yeah, so you've obviously been, you're based in Kansas City. You also, I mentioned with the Cumulus family there, KCMO, do the morning show there. How many years have you been going to the Big 12 tournament?
Oh, well, it's been almost 10 years now. I've been here in Kansas City for 8 years. I was in New York for 5 years prior to that, Oklahoma a couple years before that. So it's been all over, but, most of the last 15 years I've been in Big 12 territory. So I've been coming here for a while, and now it's great. I mean, we got new teams experiencing Kansas City. I know there's some drama around that, but overall it's been a great tournament.
Yeah, so as somebody that's obviously, and a lot of that drama is coming from us, because again, we got so comfortable in Las Vegas, and things change, and it's not drivable now for the U of A fan base, and Tommy Lloyd talked about that. You pissed off our coach the other night. I'm just playing with you. But, you were the one that asked him that question about, the possibility of it moving around. One of our columnists here wrote an article about that last week where he suggested maybe it switched from Kansas City to Dallas to Denver to Salt Lake to Las Vegas, among different places. Kelvin Sampson came out and said, we tried Houston and that didn't really work. He likes it in Kansas City. What I guess if you were making a statement for why it should stay in Kansas City, why would that be?
Well, first off, you're right. I did kind of piss off your coach. I wasn't trying to, but he seemed to embrace it, and that was fine with me. But anyway, the case for Kansas City is really, I get it. Like, if you're coming from Tucson, it is not an easy trip. If you have alumni in Phoenix, it's a fairly easy trip on Southwest. Is it Vegas? No, it's not. But it is when you look at geographical locations that work the best. Kansas City is right up there. Now, would Dallas be a little bit better geographically? Yes. They tried it in Dallas 15 years ago for a couple of Big 12 tournaments, and it was a bust because what you have unique in Kansas City is it's a big city, but also a small city in the sense that the city really owns it, embraces it, and leans into it in a way that Vegas simply can't with everything going on. Dallas is just too big to really feel like, hey, I'm in Dallas and the Big 12 tournament's going on. And that's what makes Kansas City this unique sweet spot for the Big 12 tournament, where you're downtown, you have your bars, you have your restaurants right across the street from T-Mobile. The weather today, it's 70 degrees and sunny, but 3 days ago it's 45 and rainy. It's that time of year in the Midwest, you don't know what you're going to get. But you get a good balance of fans who end up coming here. Yes, KU and Iowa State absolutely own it. However, you know what? I don't think there's a perfect location that really appeases everybody. You got a good thing going. Kelvin Sampson said last night it should stay here. And I think part of that is historical as well. I mean, Kansas City has hosted more Final Fours than any city in the country because you go back to the old days. The Municipal Auditorium, which is still here, has a lot of history. It is a college basketball town. The College Basketball Hall of Fame is right next door to the T-Mobile Center. So for Arizona fans who haven't experienced it, I get why you're like, that's too big of a pain. I can travel for the NCAA tournament next week, hopefully 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now to get to a Final Four, save your money. But I would just say experience it before you judge it too hard. And then once you experience it, you still might say, hey, I want to be in Vegas. That's fine. But give it a chance and then come to your conclusion after that.
Pete Mundo is our guest, Heartland College Sports, Cumulus Media talk show host at KCMO in Kansas City. It is your view from courtside. It's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona now for over 30 years. Pete, a lot of people are calling it the best college basketball game of the season last night. Arizona's win over Iowa State. What was your assessment of what you saw?
It was unbelievable. Just a great college basketball game. That was really college basketball at its best last night. You had two heavy hitters, going blow for blow. And then, of course, you have your big stars step up big time at the end, whether it's a Taman Lipsey three-pointer from Iowa State to tie the game. Of course, Bradley doing his thing on the last couple of possessions. When you're the Big 12 player of the year, and then you have that, great defense, by the way, contested jumper, right wing, 0.1 seconds left when you release it. That is as good as it gets. And, it's interesting. A lot of the big national college basketball writers are here from CBS and Yahoo and Field of 68 and all those guys. And they were just enamored with that game. They were writing about it well into the KU Houston game, which it seemed like nobody was paying attention to last night. So it was a great moment for the Big 12. It was a great moment for college basketball, and it was kind of that March Madness taste that sometimes you want to get during championship week when there's not necessarily a ton on the line in these power conferences. But it was an unbelievable moment. And really, I mean, a lot of people were saying last night, myself included, the best Big 12 tournament game that we've had potentially ever, but certainly over the last several years.
All right, so as somebody that writes about this conference, if you'd had a vote, who would have been your vote for Player of the Year?
It would have been Bradley. I mean, it would have been. He deserved it. He was the guy. I mean, there was probably a case throughout the season for JT Toppin, but once he got hurt at Texas Tech, it became pretty obvious that Bradley was the guy. If Toppin stayed healthy and was playing the way he was playing up until the ACL tear, and Texas Tech stayed as great as they were throughout the season, I may have given the edge to Toppin. But once he went down, it became pretty obvious that it was going to be Bradley's, and it should have been Bradley's.
We're chatting with Pete Mundo. He is with Heartland College Sports, KCMO in Kansas City. It is your view from courtside. It's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona now for over 30 years. How did the wood court play last night after the death of the glass court from the first 2 days of the tournament, Pete?
Well, it played great because nobody was talking about the stupid court. I mean, listen, here's what I'll say. Brett Yormark obviously is an innovative commissioner. He wants to push the limits and try new things. And he tried something and it failed. What I give him credit for is that he didn't double down. We are in an era where nobody in sports media, news media, politics, corporate America, nobody wants to admit they're wrong. It's not popular to admit you screwed up. Brett Yormark walked out there after the quarterfinals and said, this thing's done. I can't have our semifinals and finals, overshadowed by the court. And he was right to pull the plug on it. The players didn't like it. The media was ripping on it. The fans were making fun of it. There was nothing positive coming out of this thing by Thursday afternoon after that Texas Tech Iowa State game, when both sides were like, this is just getting ridiculous. Put us back on the hardwood. So that's what they did. And it's telling to me that they had the hardwood available. Brett Yormark has not done media outside of the Pat McAfee show since yesterday, which is surprising. He's usually very visible here in Kansas City. He has not been as visible this week. I think there's a reason for that. But I would ask him, hey, the hardwood, was that here as backup on purpose? Did you think that there was a chance this would happen, or is it always stored here in Kansas City? I don't know the answer, but that would be telling to me as to whether or not he thought this possibility was always there, and then it finally came to fruition on Thursday night.
Pete, when you look at this conference, outside of Arizona, who do you think has the best shot to get to the Final Four?
Oh, that's a great question. Listen, on their best day, I still think it's Kansas. The problem with Kansas is you don't know what you're getting night in, night out. We've seen them beat Arizona, and we've seen them lose by 20 points last night to Houston. I don't know what they are on any given day, but the ceiling is very high. And I just, do I look at Houston and say, yeah, that can be a Final Four team again? I do, but it's not as good as last year's team. They just don't shoot the three ball as well, and they're not quite to last year's level without a guy like L.J. Cryer in the backcourt to really spread that offense for them. So on their best day, it can be and it should be Kansas. The problem is I can easily see Kansas losing a 3-14 game in round one. That's the weird part of what KU is this year. And Bill Self even said it 2 weeks ago. He's like, I've never been this late in the season and really not had a good feel for what I have here. But they do have one of the highest, if not the highest ceiling outside of Arizona in this league.
Pete Mundo is our guest, Heartland College Sports. Pete, how many folks do you employ with Heartland?
We got about half a dozen between writing and podcast and video and some back-end work. So we got about half a dozen guys working for Heartland College Sports, covering the Big 12. And, we're having a great time doing it and really looking to lean into some of these new fan bases we've got going on there. Outside of you guys, obviously, the four out west are kind of new to us. But I'll tell you what, the big mistake I made, I learned this the hard way. 2 weeks ago, I'm doing a show on our YouTube channel, and it was after the Arizona-Iowa State game. So I'm doing the show at 6 in the morning before the kids wake up after the game the night before. And you know what? I hadn't drank enough coffee yet because I called Arizona State. It seemed like a brain fart. It was a brain fart. They're playing Iowa State. I accidentally called Arizona State. The Arizona fans went nuts in our mentions and comments and just killed me. You would have thought I said something about their mother the way they acted. It was terrible, but it also told me that we're growing amongst the Arizona fans, which I was happy to see.
That is the one mistake you cannot make. Calling Arizona State. Will you be traveling for the postseason? How does that work with your outfit?
It depends on where the teams land and where we end up with some of these teams, how local they are. We've got guys spread out around the country. So we've got Dallas, San Antonio, here in Kansas City. So depending on where the teams land, we'll try to make a trip work or two and go from there. But it's a great time of year. You guys know that. This Arizona team should be feeling like I never like to say national championship or bust in a one-and-done tournament, but I'll say this much. Final four or bust is where Arizona should be at right now.
Wow. There you go. What do you, in terms of where the Big 12 is positioned right now across the national landscape, what's the biggest thing that you feel like this conference has going forward as it relates to, say, the SEC and the Big 10?
Well, I'd say it's the basketball product, and that's what's really interesting. Brett Yormark has made it clear that he believes the basketball product in college basketball or college sports in general is undervalued by its media partners. Right. And that's why you saw the Big 12 backload these big Monday games in February after the NFL season was done. He basically wanted to prove, hey, if we put elite matchups on Big Monday, you guys are going to get huge ratings, and they did. 2-3 million viewers a night for a regular season college basketball game is enormous. That's what they were pulling on some of those Big Monday games. And I think part of the strategy here is to possibly break off football from basketball in terms of how the media rights are sold. Listen, the Big 12's not the SEC or the Big 10 in football. We know that. But their leverage right now is in basketball. Obviously, Arizona's a huge part of that. And I do think you'll see potentially a decoupling of football from basketball as it relates to the contracts in, probably the early 2030s when those things come up again. The Big 12 deal with ESPN and Fox goes through 2031. And I want to see how they lean into that. And if there's potentially new TV partners that become a bigger part of the Big 12, like TNT has become, and they've done a good job with the Big 12 coverage. So I think we could see more of that going forward. And I'm excited about that because that's the great leverage that I think the Big 12 has right now. And then just trying to build up its rivalries, I mean, that takes time. But if the Big 12 can start to do that, I think they'll be in a much better place in the next few years.
All right, Pete, we've been asking people all week, what's your favorite and most recommended barbecue joint?
Oh, man, but here's the thing. You're asking the Kansas City guy that, which gets me in trouble because this is my home. Listen, I really don't think you can go wrong, and I don't want to sound like a politician, but if you do Joe's, if you do Jack Stack, if you do Q39, I mean, I would put those in my top three. LC's is up there as well, but you've got easily half a dozen places that if you're an Arizona fan and you're in town this week, you're coming next year, you can't go wrong. I mean, you're going to have a great time and you're going to eat really well on the barbecue side while you're here.
Let me ask you this. Is it like, because I have a background, I have family in Philadelphia, and so I spent a lot of time there as a kid, and then people always ask me, like, what's the best steak place in Philly? And I tell them, well, everybody knows about Pat's and Geno's, but to me, Pat's and Geno's is like saying McDonald's or Burger King. It's like, I'm going to send you to the place that's in the neighborhood. That's up in North Philly. There's this awesome little place near LaSalle called the Explorer's Den, where it was like, 10 blocks from my grandmother's house, and we used to walk there every day in the summer to get our steak. I'm going to send you there. Is there like a neighborhood place that maybe people don't know about? Is there neighborhood barbecue like that in Kansas City?
Well, here's the thing. I see what you're saying because I've done the Pats and Geno's thing, and yes, people go there, and that's where you got to go in Philly. But you go to any of those places I just mentioned, 95% of it is locals. So it's different in the standpoint of it's not like those are the tourist barbecue. It's like, no, those are where Kansas Cityans go for lunch, for dinner, for takeout. That's where our family goes. That's where we go out to eat. So I see what you're saying where you would think that those are like the tourist trap barbecue spots, but they really aren't. I mean, they're the local go-to. They're just a little bit different in terms of what each of those places are good at. Like one has the better sides, one has the better burnt ends. One to me, is kind of the more, what would you call it? Like, hipster barbecue joint. What are you going for stylistically when you walk in? One is in a gas station in Kansas City. So it's just all of those places kind of do a great job. They're all mostly driven by local business, not tourist business there for the barbecue. And that's what I think makes it fairly unique.
Pete, do you guys have any game day programming today people can check out prior to tip?
Yeah, we got everything, previews, predictions up on the website. We got podcasts up this morning. YouTube preview and predictions are up as well. Just search Heartland College Sports. And I think you guys might ask, but just so I have it out there in case anyone's unsure, I've got Arizona tonight 74-69.
74-69, a 5-point win, says Pete Mundo. All right, we'll have to keep that in mind because we have a betting segment later that covers the spread and the over there. Pete, hey, appreciate you taking some time to join us. We'll have to check in with you again as we get into the football realm.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys had a nice year last year, and trying to build on that's going to be fun. So whenever you guys need me, just let me know.
Pete Mundo from Heartland College Sports, KCMO in Kansas City, Cumulus Media VP of News, with your view from courtside.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Southern Arizona for over 30 years.
Wildcat fans, where do you go when the final buzzer sounds? You don't head home. You head to Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies, Tucson's home court for great food, craft beer, and nonstop fun. At Roadies, you can bowl, throw an axe, play arcade games, or grab a burger while the next game plays on the massive screens. Then, catch the newest movies right next door at Roadhouse Cinemas with luxury recliners and full in-seat dining. Game days, movie nights, anytime. Make it a win at Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies on the corner of Grant and Swan.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with Mad March savings all month long. Now's the time to save big with big deals on major brand tires like the long-lasting quiet riding Michelin Defender 2 and slam dunk savings on automotive repairs with big rebates up to $100. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 convenient locations are ready to assist on your next championship drive. Check out jackfurriers.com for even more savings. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
The Target, 422 Maple Drive. No tripped alarms, no broken windows. While you were sleeping, they made off with $50,000 in equity, and they didn't even use a getaway car.
Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Don't let termites turn your equity into sawdust. We stop the heist before the damage is done. Call 520-201-2000 for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, termites.
Supplier pricing is happening right now at O'Reilly Chevrolet during Truck Month. That means big savings across our lineup. Take up to $4,000 off the 2026 Colorado, up to $5,500 off the 2026 Silverado HD, and up to $10,000 off the 2026 Equinox EV. Supplier pricing is going on right now, so don't miss your chance to save. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Coach, Tommy Lloyd here with the Right Way team.
Great news. Free furnace season has been extended through the end of March. Have you been thinking about replacing your heating and cooling system this year? To spark business, we're giving away an 80% gas furnace or a heat pump air handler with the purchase of a new air conditioning system.
And we're offering up to 60 months no interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 to book your free estimate today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto, professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a three out there and drains it. Nawaka takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip-off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Marchinkov down to Pete, left of the lane. Spin move there on Lipsy, double team. And tried to kick it in the lane to driving Bradley. Ball knocked away, but saved by Krivas. Off to Bradley. Hook it left corner. Krivas going to launch a three out there. It's good. Lexus of Tucson Charity 3.
Let's take a look at the Right Way rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, hour number 2 of our pregame show, and we have got coming up for you Spotlight on a Cat. We'll hear from Mackenzie Hamilton, who had a chance to chat with Toby Awaka after the game last night, presented by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Your college basketball scoreboard, Michigan and Wisconsin were doing battle in the Big Ten semifinals today. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers, presents that as well. Hughes Federal Credit Union is the provider of DK with TL. Not necessarily my question to the head coach, but a question I might have asked the head coach if I had been in front of him last night in Kansas City.
So you didn't fly to Kansas City for the press room and ask a question and fly back?
Did not do that, no. That would be very difficult to do. Everybody's mad at our guy Pete brought up Southwest. Everybody's mad at Southwest. Like, I guess because Southwest changed everything.
About
they
6 months
for
ago.
Bags now. They do assigned seating, and it's all messed up. Everybody's unhappy about it right now.
Everybody's unhappy about everything in general. It's got nothing to do with Southwest. Really.
I've not flown Southwest since they made all the changes, so I'll have to wait and see how that all works.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to how the rest of their airlines work.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like they had cheap flights and you could just come and stand in line and first come, first serve thing. And now it's different. Now it's back to the normal.
Scouting report. Joseph Duarte is the writer for the Houston Chronicle that covers the Cougars. That's Jack Furrier, Tire and Auto Care. We'll hear from him. Who'll be that Cougar that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin today? Your pest of the game, as presented by Essential Pest Control. Can we beat the book out at the Casino del Sol? Sol Sports. Arizona is a 1.5-point favorite in the game. The over-under 138.5. We'll hear from Tommy Lloyd as well with Mackenzie Hamilton. Keys to the game brought to you by Royal Automotive, and Rocky and Kay has your starting lineup. We want to hear from you, too, at 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290, or you can chime in on our YouTube channel because we are streaming the show live. I am about to put the show up live on Instagram. We should be there momentarily as well, so you can watch the show on Instagram. You can also watch it on Twitch, so several different places. Download the app because you can do everything on the app. You can listen to it, you can watch it, you can read all of our game story articles. Everything is on the app. Also, we are keeping an eye on the availability report for today, sponsored by Currently No One. If you want to jump in on that, 520-887-1000 is the number. You can speak with one of our folks, and they will get you hooked up with that sponsorship right there. We obviously want to figure out what is going on with Braden Burries. He was dealing with some type of a calf quad issue yesterday, and so we will await to see if his name is on the availability report. The league did put out a listing for today's availability report earlier, but nothing is on that listing currently, so we'll wait to see if names are added to it when the final one drops, which is scheduled to be in a little less than an hour coming up. All right, let's shine a spotlight on one of your Wildcats.
Our pregame show, Spotlight on a Cat, is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Bounce pass down to Owaka, got through the defense, lay it up good, and he's fouled. Pete looking to drive, gets to the free throw line, throw it inside Owaka, underneath, pump fake goes up and rolls it in. That's just all strength for Tobe Owaka. Off to Pete, back to Del Orso, fires a three, rims out no good, rebound Owaka, and he slams it home.
Tobe Owaka, the #1 offensive rebounder in the nation, goes up and grabs another one with a one-handed hammer.
Tobe Owaka recorded his second double-double in as many games last night. He went 12-12 against UCF. He went 10-10 against Iowa State. He has 8 double-doubles on the year. 15 games this season for Tobe Owaka with 10-plus rebounds. Mackenzie Hamilton is in Kansas City. She caught up with Tobe Owaka after the game.
So let's start off with the buzzer beater. Walk us through your perspective there.
Yeah, it was crazy. I just saw him, sort of wave off the play, and he ended up driving down towards the right corner and, bump fade and hit the shot. I was going to go rebound, and I kind of saw the trajectory of the ball in the air, and, I thought it was pure, and obviously it was back here, nothing but net. And then obviously, he was right by our bench, so the whole, team just swarmed him. So, it was surreal. Those are the kind of games that you live for. That's what college basketball is all about. And I think honestly that was a Final Four matchup.
No, for real. I mean, you were telling me just yesterday that you guys knew ahead of this game with Iowa State's crowd that they bring here, you guys were going to have to create your own energy, really band together. How did you see that play out on your bench and your team today?
Yeah, I think credit to our bench. They really brought the energy. Obviously, we're at a neutral site away from home, so we had to bring our own juice, so to speak. So I think they did a great job of just cheering us on. They did a great job of cheering us on and just making sure that we were focused and poised throughout the whole game. But yeah, a team like Iowa State, it's going to be a heavyweight matchup every single time they play, a unique style of defense. Their offense is really clicking tonight. So, it was just fun to experience.
It was swing after swing, back and forth between you guys. Take us to halftime. What was the message from Tommy Lloyd that really allowed you guys to come into the second half after Iowa State had a 9-0 run?
Just band together, stick with it. They made a bit of a run towards the end, but not to let that demoralize us. And just keep pushing. Oh my gosh.
So, just take me through, the aura, you have on the court. How does it feel, and how does that happen? How do you get aura like that?
So the thing that happened was that the minute that Cole Pete stepped on campus, I was just I have to be like him. And just his aura gravitates, you know what I mean? He's walking away, he's a humble dude, but yeah.
Cole Pete taking over the interview there from Mackenzie Hamilton at the end. He might have a future. That was actually a pretty good question he asked right there.
I saw a clip of Koa at the McDonald's game, I think it was. Burries was going around interviewing people he was doing the reporter thing, and then Koa took it away, and they had this whole thing back and forth, before they even got to campus. So, yeah, that's a thing.
That is your spotlight for today.
That's today's Spotlight on a Cat, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
I will hear a little bit more from, again, Mackenzie Hamilton had a chance to catch up with Tommy Lloyd after shoot-around this morning for today's game. We'll hear from him coming up, or the two of them, a little bit later. I mentioned earlier, obviously, we're keeping an eye on the availability report for today's ball game due to the fact that Braden Burries was dealing with something yesterday and did not, obviously, it clearly affected him in last night's ball game. He played a total of 20 minutes and went 0 of 7 from the field, including 0 of 3 from 3, finished with 3 points. All 3 of those points came from the line on 3 of 4, had just 1 rebound in the game and turned it over 3 times, had a steal. But again, it's just the latest. We've lately, Koa Pete has been out for a stretch of time as he dealt with his lower extremity injury. Dwayne Aristode, one of the other freshmen, was dealing with an illness. Tommy Lloyd said it's that time of year where you have these types of injuries and adversity that teams have to find a way to get through.
That's what a season brings. A season, unfortunately, these things aren't, they're not completed in a vacuum. There's life that's happening while we're doing these seasons, there's some emotional up and downs, there's physical up and downs, there's fatigue, there's emotional fatigue, and there's successes, there's failures, there's so many things coming at your way that, you're going to have these ebbs and flows of the season, and, you got to stay steady, and you got to accept it's just part of the equation. And if you're going to be a team that has to play at its best to win, or you're going to be a player that has to feel 100% to perform, you're probably not going to be a very consistent team. So, we take a lot of pride in being consistent, and I think our guys really delivered, on the regular season.
And again, that's it's just been the catalyst for this team, guys, where guys go out, other guys come in. We had Koa go out, and that was kind of when Anthony found himself this season after he had struggled a little bit earlier, and we saw that carry over into last night's game, where for a number of these games recently, it has been Braden Burries leading the team in scoring, but he was not really able to go at full strength last night. So once again, Anthony stepped up and was the man to lead the Wildcats to yet another victory.
It's tough for Kelvin, man, because think about this. KJ Lewis is the leading scorer for Georgetown, right? Look at what Henry Vasar is doing at North Carolina. So those are two guys who were here last year. It's so rare, Kelvin. It's lightning in a bottle to get a legit 8-man rotation where any of those 8 guys could be considered starter worthy. And that's what this year's team is. And it's not just 8 bigs, right? You got every single piece of the puzzle. So it's so difficult in the NIL transfer portal era, Kelvin, to me, to get so many guys bought into team first philosophy, stick around here because you're not trying to jump off somewhere else and go get your numbers bumped up because you know you're not going to get that. You know there's guys on this team on the bench who aren't. Deli's a great example. You talk about him needing 10 shots to get comfortable. How many games this year has he had the opportunity to take 10 field goals? But when you need it, he's capable of stepping in and being a starting shooting guard type level player or wing player. So that, to me, Kelvin, is what this is. The build of this year's team is legitimately 8 guys who could be starters stepping up when there's numbers called.
Yeah, I mean, that's what most coaches try to do. You want to have a legit guard coming off the bench, 2, because you got 3 positions there, so you need 2 guys coming off the bench for those 3 positions, and then 1 big coming off that could sub for either one of your big guys that are playing as well. So Tommy just did a great job of building this team and being able to get these freshmen to play as mature as they have played, and to get Deli and Awaka to be able to agree to not starting. To me, that was the biggest thing that he did, and for it all to come together with the wins, it make those guys believe in him more. So that's the reason why this thing is all working out, because if they would have been losing, you would have heard, Awaka and maybe even Del Orso saying, hey, let's switch this up a little bit, even though I don't think Tommy would have. But with that being said, but these guys have, embraced their roles because things have been going in a great direction.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Okay, I want to get into a little bit of the league business that we had this week from the commissioner, Brett Yormark. And one of the things we mentioned, obviously, we've talked a couple times in this segment already, is the situation with the availability report. There was the game earlier in the year at Kansas where it was unclear what the status was going to be for Darren Peterson coming into that contest, who he was scratched literally, I think, like a half an hour before tip-off in the game with the Wildcats. Bruce Pascoe this week asked Brett Yormark just where the conference is after this initial year of availability reports.
Hi, Brett. Bruce Pascoe, the Arizona Daily Star. I was wondering about the player availability reports, how they've gone. You guys have to enforce them, and maybe it's just a one-off, but I remember there was a case where Kansas played Arizona. Bill Self said the day before the game he thought Peterson was 50-50, but they didn't put him on there. And so I don't know if that was any concern, or are you more concerned about guys that are on there and then end up playing?
I think it's gone relatively well, and if it doesn't hit my desk, then it's gone pretty well. And nothing with availability reporting has hit my desk, although it's a work in progress. But my colleague who runs basketball, Brian, is here. Brian, if you want to address that, if there's any more detail. That's why I always have him next to me.
Brian Thornton.
Thanks, Rachel.
Head of basketball.
Player availability reporting is something that we continue to monitor. You certainly mentioned the incident or the situation with Kansas and Arizona. It's something that we have to continue to talk through. This is new for all of our institutions as well. They're trying to figure it out. Understanding that player availability is about availability and not injury is a key component to think about. And if somebody's available but they're not injured, those are kind of 2 different things. But it is a work in progress, as Brett said. It's something that we'll continue to look at next year. If there's ways that we can kind of sand the edges and to make it a better process for everybody, they'll certainly be using it at the NCAA level, and we'll see how it goes there. And if there's things that we can glean from that, then that'll help us make our process better going forward.
That was Brian Thornton. He is the head of basketball. Also chatting with there, you heard Brett Yormark, the commissioner, as well, kind of deferring to Brian on some of the logistics of things like that. Again, I think I would give it a B minus through this first year. I think in terms of the availability report. I mean, I think there were times where we did get blindsided by some things that were happening in both football and basketball. But I think overall, it's been pretty good this first season. I think it needs to be tweaked a little bit. I think there's some situations like what we saw in the Kansas thing where the coaches need to be a little bit more transparent. If you believe that a player might not be able to play, then they should be on the availability report, and not so that you don't get surprised when somebody doesn't play at the last minute. I think that's the instances where I start to say, what's going on there?
The problem is like rules without teeth, right? Like, what's the enforcement? It's like $10,000 fine if you mismanage your availability report for your player. So that's kind of a drop in the bucket these days. So I don't know if there's incentive. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's Kelvin. Gamesmanship will always be a part of sport.
Yeah,
all sports,
right?
Yeah. So I mean, if coaches have a chance to, maybe they got a guy who's got a little bit of a bum ankle. Number one, you don't want. Let's say the right ankle is a little tender. You don't want the other team to know that, specifics about that. Why? Because you're going to drive that guy to that side of his body, Kelvin. You're going to make him try to push off on that ankle and test it out, right? Not necessarily you're targeting. It's just you're trying to make sure that guy is 100%. So availability, coaches are never going to give, full info. I think out or in is important. I think it's important. This mechanic and this mechanism is important for everybody, and we all know that this has a lot to do with Vegas lines, right? But everybody has to be on the same page whether or not a player is going to be in the game or not. Questionable, yeah, that 50-50 thing is a kind of a gray area. But I think if they know a player is not going to play on a Tuesday for a game on a Friday, I think everybody should have that information.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But I was just thinking I'm like, coaches telling you their guys are a little dinged up, not happening, man. That's wow. That don't even seem right in my mind. You like, as a coach, I'm like, am I cheating telling them this information? Like, am I point shaving against?
Like, you
my
want to know what
guys?
defense we're going to run tomorrow too?
Yeah. So nah, man, nah. We hopefully that. I was gonna say that's for the media. You know what I mean? I'm on this side. It's kind of cool to know, but at the end of the day, as a coach, you're like, hey, y'all need to find that out when they find that out.
All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. Call, text, or chime in on any of our social media platforms. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. DK sort of with TL. We'll get Tommy's thoughts on the court change coming up next, what he had to say. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master planned community designed by nature, Factory Direct Mattress, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
For windows and doors that combine style, performance, and efficiency, come to the Window Depot. We carry a large selection of Milgard windows and patio doors, with many options in stock and available today. Choose from a variety of colors, styles, and energy-efficient designs that can help improve comfort while adding value to your home. From new builds to window replacements, our team can help you find the right Milgard products for your unique project. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you.
Everyone loves to get together for food, fun, and sports. But what's the best spot? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire, Catalina, and Oro Valley. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and for our neighbors for years, and we get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. At our Catalina Grill, you'll love the elevated bar fare and barbecue, served in our relaxed and fun neighborhood grill. Fork and Fire Catalina, where great food meets good times and a strong community. Bring everyone on down to Fork and Fire in Catalina and Oro Valley.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered registered investment advisor.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704. Or jtautoaz.com.
Family outgrowing your car? Hughes Federal Credit Union can help you get the car you want and the rate you need. Hughes is one of the only financial institutions in the country that doesn't switch loan rates based on a qualified buyer's credit score. That means you get our one-rate guarantee regardless of your credit score. We promise. When it's time for your next new or used car, Hughes is here to take you further. Check out our low rates on hughesfcu.org/auto and apply today. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of five-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Wow, this is bad.
Oh no, how bad? When will my AC be fixed?
You know, I don't know. It's your flux capacitor. They don't make them anymore. Special order. Couple grand easy.
Oh my God, what?
Don't get air-conned into paying for shoddy service and stuff you don't need. Put Goodfellas on the job. Goodfellas AC will repair or install your AC the right way the first time. You'll know up front exactly what it'll cost and how long it'll take. No surprises and free second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Arizona ball the other way. Bradley crosses midcourt. Wildcats to their half court. Jaden will drive left to the lane. Scoop shot up and good for two.
Excellent job dive by Jaden Bradley, realizing you can get to the rim versus a team with little rim protection.
Arizona. Houston on the horizon in Kansas City for the Big 12 Tournament Championship, second year in a row. Third straight year for the Cougars. They lost the first time, beat Arizona last year, looking to win a second in a row. Arizona looking for their first Big 12 Tournament Championship. Anthony Delorso was huge last night for your Arizona Wildcats, coming off the bench to score 26 points. Wildcats bench was just dominant. 38 points to just 3 last night for the Iowa State Cyclones. And after the game, Anthony Delorso talking a little bit about the emotion that he likes to show after he makes big baskets like that.
Yeah, it feels great. Obviously, off the start we had a bit of a slow start, and I see, myself coming off the bench. That's something I got to bring to the team, get us going. Whether that's scoring, passing, defense, whatever it is. But that emotion, we all feed off that. Coach emphasizes, giving energy and showing emotion, and that's something that I pride myself on and I can bring every night.
3-point shooting like that is something that can carry teams pretty far into March. I just want to know how you think you can use this as momentum and carry it forward.
Yeah, just staying consistent, staying confident. That's two things that I can keep myself accountable for. Doesn't take any effort, doesn't take anything other than mindset. And then I can rely on these guys. These guys have been there for me all year through the ups and downs, and they haven't lost any confidence in me. Coach hasn't lost any confidence in me, and that's what I can count on. I just got to go out there and give it my all.
Yeah, I mean, this what we're seeing from him, and just really what you're seeing from this team as a whole. Well, I think it's now 8. What was the stat that we had? 8 guys have over 100 field goals. Actually, I'm sorry, 7 different players have made over 100 or more field goals this year. The only school in the country that can claim that. That's pretty impressive. Again, that speaks to the depth that we've seen from this Arizona Wildcats team all season long.
Veteran depth, too, Kelvin.
Yeah, veteran depth. Guys, again, Del Orso has done it before, man. I watched him in those games, man, and I'm glad he was able to have some games like this because I saw the frustration in him. You know, when you're only able to take 3 or 4 shots, and if you don't get going early, you kind of gotta, move the ball around and pass, and you could tell with that energy coming out, man, that he wanted to have games like this. So to see him be able to hit shots in big moments like this, I think it make him go back and you look at it, and you're probably a little frustrated because you didn't start, or you feel like maybe you didn't get to compete for the starting position. But when you go back and look at these times like this, it's going to tell you, like, you know what, man, I stayed the course. I got through some stuff that I didn't even know I could get through, and so you can look in the mirror and feel even more proud of yourself.
Well, think about it like this, fellas. What did we talk about for the first 3 weeks of the season? Delhi put on 25 pounds. Delhi's moving his feet really well on defense. Delhi has worked on all the things that he had deficiencies to his game last year. In the Duke game, he got in for 3 minutes. He got pulled out. He never got back in. And why is that? Because he wasn't physical on the point of attack defensively, Kelvin. So he worked on all that stuff. He was playing great. He's been playing great defense all year long. Then all of a sudden, for a 10, 12-game stretch, he can't knock down a 3. So he's on the court, Kelvin, doing what the coaches need him to do on the other side of the ball, and all of a sudden his shot just is not falling. So to come through that, and obviously when he was called upon when Koa was out and when Aristotle was out, Delhi stepped up, knocked those shots down like he was at Campbell, like it was nothing, like he was a 20-point scorer every night.
And I could tell you also the emotion going through his body is he's been feeling like he can do this. And I think I said he could do it. I say, but when you know you're limited on your shots, when you know you can't go past that certain pitch count, right? When you understand that, it kind of makes you feel some type of way. But when you in there and know you can just let it go and not even think about it, you just play differently, man. I'm telling you, I've been on that bench before, and you go in there and you make a mistake and you get snatched out. And it's the same mistake that the other guy makes, but he got a little longer leash than you have. So, yeah, it's just one of those things, man, when you get that opportunity, and especially from a guy like myself who was on the bench, was behind some real good guys. I find when I talk to people, I say, yeah, I played behind Damon Stoudemire and Jason Terry and Joseph Blair, and Michael Dickinson. You start naming some of those names, they say, wait a minute, all NBA players. I say, yeah, it's not that Del Orso isn't good. It's that he's behind maybe a lottery pick and another NBA guy in Jaden Bradley.
Jaden Bradley, you mentioned that name. Jaden hit the game-winning shot last night. It was the first buzzer beater by a Wildcat since Azulis Tabellis' buzzer beater in Tempe back 5 years ago in 2021 to beat the rival Sun Devils. But Jaden said he would not have had that opportunity had it not been last night for one Anthony Del Orso.
Deli's crazy, literally. But I'm proud of Deli. He had his ups and his downs this season, but we all believe in him. His shot-making ability, his defense has got so much better. We just trusted him. We just got so many guys that can get it going at any night. And tonight was Deli's night. Proud of the way he's going, and he's going to keep flowing from here.
Another guy who was impressed with Anthony Del Orso was the head coach of the Iowa State Cyclones, TJ Otzelberger, who discussed the way that Arizona flowed their offense to get Anthony Del Orso in position to make those shots.
They're so physical on the interior with their seals and their post-ups, so whether they get it into the post or they drive when they're sealing, it causes, your help defense to have to rotate, and then when they're able to skip it on the backside, he was effective. Credit to them for making the passes under duress, and you still got to step up and make those shots. And so, that's a competitor in a big moment, stepping up and knocking down shots, so tip of the cap to him.
There you go. That's coming from the head coach of the team who lost to the Wildcats at the buzzer last night, TJ Otzelberger. Let's hear from your head coach.
You need answered. It's DK with TL. Our David Kelly asks Tommy Lloyd questions, and you get the answers. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
All right, DK, sort of with TL. I was not at the press conference last night, nor earlier this week here in Tucson, but big decision made prior to yesterday's semifinals to change out the court. No more glass, or glass floor no more, as we were saying yesterday. Back to the hardwood. Had I been at the press conference last night, I might have asked Tommy Lloyd about his thoughts on the conference's decision to remove the glass and go back to wood.
The shooting today, I want to give credit to Brian Thornton and Brett Yormark. To have the courage to try something new, and then even the bigger cojones to change it, really made a difference tonight. Just getting these guys playing on a surface they're comfortable with. But I don't think what was told yesterday is just, the different feel on the court caused them to overinflate the balls yesterday. So it was like tough shooting, you know what I mean? Like these guys, sometimes these Wilson balls, you play in the NCAA tournament, if they're overinflated, it's really hard to get a good feel for them, and it feels like a brick a little bit. And so that's probably maybe one of the reasons there's a lot of bricks thrown up. Today, back on the natural surface, they're able to put the ball back at its normal, where it's supposed to be inflated, and you can see. And, Deli and I talked about it. I mean, he's at Campbell. He played with that Wilson ball almost exclusively. So he's really comfortable with it. And that makes a difference, and that probably begs a bigger question. We probably should eventually, figure out how to have a unified ball among all the NCAA. I mean, it's crazy that we don't, because it does. The playing surface in the ball impacts the game more than people think, because these guys are, they're trained professionals, and they do this every single day. So how they feel matters to allow them to perform at their best. So I want to give a shout out to our conference leadership for having the courage to do that, because I think it allowed for a platform for a beautiful basketball game to happen tonight.
Matthew Postins, Heartland College Sports. Coach, I'll ask the odd question. Do you know by how much PSI the balls are overinflated yesterday?
I don't. I'm a feel guy. You throw me a ball, let me squeeze it a little bit, I'll tell you if it's good.
Okay.
I don't know the PSIs.
And those are the questions that you needed answered. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
Real quick, so it's interesting because I don't know that a lot of people maybe don't really realize that there is not a uniformed basketball throughout the college game. That different places use different balls.
Different leagues.
Yeah.
Well, different. I thought if you would Nike, you use Nike. If you would Adidas, you use Adidas. So, different brands that, you're getting paid for.
You want free shoes? Use this ball.
You want that money into your guys' NILs and different things. I think you can kind of understand. But the way it goes all the way back to high school with these guys. You're on the EYBL. You were using Nike ball. They just have different leagues use different balls. It's something that the players are used to. Every high school we played at, everybody had a different ball. They had what they could afford.
Yeah.
Some place you might get a deal or whatever, but we play with every type of ball you can think of, and it does matter, but it's fun to beat people with their ball in their gym. That was like a big thing when you were a kid. You go to the gym with your ball, but hey, the other team won. So guess what ball they're using? Their ball, the one that they feel comfortable with. So, I'm back with Tommy's thinking how he thought yesterday when he said, hey, the back alley, the concrete,
asphalt,
double rims, the double rims, like chains on the net, like it's whatever. I'm gonna beat you, and that's what it's about.
I've always consistently said the same thing, which is the balls don't matter. Anybody who's played basketball has played with every branded ball. What matters is pulling a ball out of a box and throwing it out to the guys to use. You can't do that. That happened last year, also with the Nets too. Regardless of what brand you're using, you got to use, Kelvin, a ball that's a little bit worked in, because that's what feels different. Slick balls have to do with how new they are, not what brand you're using. So they're all pretty much the same. You just got to make sure that you're using a ball that's been worked in a little bit, give it to some people to go shoot around with, and then play the game with it.
And you're right, because when it's at a national tournament, those guys just air it up and give it to you guys. It's different from when you're playing the teams and they use their balls at practices.
Yeah, they give
that they actually use in the games.
Like the equivalent managers give 3 balls for the opposing captain to pick which one they want to use for the game, right? Like that's how that's done.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We'll head back to Kansas City here coming up and get you your scouting report on the Houston Cougars, the number 5 team in the country who would try to prevent Arizona from winning the Big 12 Tournament Championship today. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Kelvin Efon is here at JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez at Meridian Wealth Management, and one of the hardest things I witness is when someone passes and they hadn't updated their beneficiaries properly beforehand. We all experience change in our lives, marriage, divorce, kids, and we work very hard for what we have. Leaving your legacy exactly the way you desire is important. This is your reminder to review all of your beneficiary designations today and at least annually. Seek guidance if you need it. Call our office at 520-719-1433 for more information.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
So, what is it that scares you the most?
The blue trucks from Essential Pest Control, Doctor. They leave bugs belly up.
I use one of those national companies.
Thanks, Doc. Those guys don't scare me.
Spring is bug season. Go blue with Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. Buy local and stop paying too much with those national providers. Essential Pest Control is a bug's worst nightmare.
I can't sleep at night.
Essential Pest Control. Call 866-3029. That's 866-3029. Or visit essentialpest.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with Mad March savings all month long. Now's the time to save big with big deals on major brand tires like the long-lasting quiet riding Michelin Defender 2 and slam dunk savings on automotive repairs with big rebates up to $100. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 convenient locations are ready to assist on your next championship drive. Check out jackfurriers.com for even more savings. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Are you planning a home renovation? Getting quotes on windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, or flooring? Before you commit, visit the Window Depot and make sure you're not overpaying. The Window Depot is your one-stop shop for top quality products at the lowest prices. We're locally owned and operated with no installers and no middlemen, so you save big. Perfect for DIYers, contractors, and homeowners. Visit a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Oh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the neighborly done right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed. Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing, a neighborly company.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Evon, J.W. Madden.
There's Flemings the other way. Stop, top of the key, won't shoot, handed to Sunak, and back to Flemings. On the switch, picked up by Krivas. Drives to Sharp, deep three right side is good.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sharp, the sharpshooter there, once again getting free for an open look.
He is his second three of the ball game. Again, that's what helped Houston in that first half stay close. Their ability to hit some threes. They've gone.
Time now for a look at today's Wildcat opponent. The Scouting Report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960. Here to get you there.
Sacco dives with a loose ball, saves it to Sharp, fires it to Flemings, right corner for three. Got it! Kingston Flemings drills a right corner three. Jumper blocked by Peterson, rebound Miller, kick out Flemings, left wing three, got it! Kingston Flemings hits another three, and Houston leads by 21. Uzan, right wing Sharp, catch and shoot, three, got it. Houston's pouring it on. It's an 11-0 run. Houston has outscored Kansas 18-2, and they now lead by 24.
Yeah, and they just absolutely ran roughshod last night over the Kansas Jayhawks. The Houston Cougars advancing to their third consecutive Big 12 tournament championship game. Let's talk about this team and how they have progressed since the last time we saw them down at the Fertitta Center a little over a month ago. We're pleased to be joined by Joseph Duarte. He writes the beat for the Houston Cougars at the Houston Chronicle. And Joseph, appreciate the chance to chat with you from Kansas City. Just give me your assessment, Joseph, of this tournament this week. There has obviously been a lot of things going on. Glass court, hardwood court, all of that. You've been to these tournaments before. How would you assess this week?
You know, it's been great. Well, first, thanks for having me on. I think before last night, the way that the tournament had gone, everybody was just talking about the court. But I think now we can say that buzzer beater for Arizona, it was moment number one, and the court maybe down to number two. So that's a good thing if you're the Big 12. But there's been a lot of a good basketball. The four teams that made it to the semifinals are, I believe, the four that can make a run in the NCAA tournament. So yesterday, started with a bang. The Houston game, not so much. You look up at the stats, and all of a sudden Kansas has missed 16 straight shots to begin the half. And they're shooting 8.4%, I think, with about 5 minutes left. So kind of a difference in games yesterday. But, the two best teams in the regular season are meeting, and it should be a good one today.
All right, so how did Houston do that? How did they completely take apart the Kansas Jayhawks last night after obviously Kansas had beaten them a few weeks ago in Fog Allen?
It's sort of the revenge tour right now. That's the way they look at it. They felt like the game in Lawrence just got out of hand, much like the Arizona game where they were really never in it. And those two losses were part of a rare 3-game losing streak. Houston had never lost back-to-back in like 7 or 8 years since before, until Arizona beat them that game in Houston. So, they did what they usually do, and when they're on, it's the defensive component. The night before against AJ Devanza, they did a really nice job on him in the second half, and then they get up against Darren Peterson yesterday, and the first half was a little tight there right before halftime, and then they come out, they changed some things on how they guarded him. And then that's what they just went to work. That's what they do. They grind you. They out-physical you. The offensive rebounds, the second chance points, all that stuff. And then you throw in a Kingston Flemings and a Kristanak, who are two freshmen that have just grown up every single game. You look up and it's a 24-point lead. So it's typical Houston basketball that I think that they're playing at their best right now, and it's really been a lesson in patience this year for Kelvin Sampson, because he normally doesn't play with this young of a lineup.
Joseph Duarte from the Houston Chronicle is our guest. It is your scouting report brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960 here to get you there. I mean, a couple of the names you mentioned, obviously, in Kingston Flemings and Chris Sanak. I mean, these are true freshmen that have come in here, and it's been the year of the true freshmen. The Wildcats obviously have 4 that have played a whole lot as well. Give us your sense of Kingston, Flemings, and Chris Sinak. Sinak had a huge game yesterday, shot the ball very well. What has been their influence, and how have they grown through this season through 30-plus games?
Well, part of the class that they brought in, which, by the way, they were hard on getting Cole Pete. They were really pushing to get him as well. He would have been part of that kind of class, and he decided to go to Arizona. But the 3 that they brought in, I think Kingston Flemings was probably number 3 out of those 3 because he's a point guard. Maybe people didn't expect him to come in and play immediately because just of the difficulty in playing under Kelvin. But he's actually been the best freshman of them all. He's an All-American. He's the first freshman in Houston history to ever accomplish that, and he's been the guy from day one. He wants the ball in his hands. He's the tough shot guy. He's got almost 5 assists, or at least 5 assists a game. And then you look at Sinak. He's sort of been a guy it's slowly developed. He had been a 5 in high school, playing more outside on the perimeter as a 4. And they've gotten everything that they could have imagined out of those 2, and then you mix in the 3 guys who were part of the core of that national championship game team last year, and Milos Usan, Emmanuel Sharp, and Joseph Tugler. It's just been a nice mix. But you've seen Flemings especially go from a guy that really people thought year 2 would be the year for him to he's not going to be around come April, because he's going to probably be a top 5 pick. And that just goes to show you how he they gave him the ball, and they let him run with it literally. And it's been a phenomenal to watch how that guy's developed this year.
And Joseph, you mentioned obviously that the calling card of this program has largely been at the defensive end of the floor. It's sometimes tough to get the freshmen to quickly buy in and figure out what's happening there. How does Kelvin Sampson manage that?
You threaten them with a lot of running. Basically, the criteria to be even, I guess, evaluated recruiting by Kelvin Sampson is the buy-in component. And they learn on June 1st when they report what it means to go through these practices where your body is all over the floor, you're diving. They've got a count where they do floor burns, where it's kind of the badge of honor on how many times your knees and your elbows and everything else is nicked up. But you have to buy in, and players that don't find out quickly that their minutes are going to be limited, that they are not going to see the floor. Of course, with these 2 being so heralded, nothing was going to be given. Kelvin doesn't believe in the stars other than if he goes out and watches them at night. And he just felt like, hey, these guys are going to be no different. I'm not going to treat them any different. So they had to earn their playing time. But that just goes to show you, they came in and they did enough at the beginning that they gained his trust, because they wanted to come in. And the words we've heard from them all season is they could have gone anywhere, and that's true. But they wanted to be coached hard, and they know that will get them to the next level. And in Fleming's case, from out of nowhere in the first round talk to begin the season to top 5 is a pretty good return on investment.
Milos Usan, obviously the big-time senior on this team and leader from last year's crew. And what do you think getting to the championship game for him and those other guys who were on the team last year, and not obviously winning that, and then how did that formulate and lay the groundwork for what they wanted to try to accomplish this year to maybe be able to get back to the title game and get back to the Final Four?
Well, the guy it probably impacted the most was Emmanuel Sharp, because he's the one that the image is replayed where he goes up like he's going to shoot and doesn't get the shot off, and it turns into a turnover there in the last second where they don't even get an attempt. So you go through an off season. If you're him, you're like, I got one more chance to get this done. So there's the motivation there. With Milos, he came in and he probably had the toughest job in America. He was replacing Jamal Shedd, who was Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. He was Big 12 Player of the Year. All those different things, and he came in and led them to the championship game. Now this year, when Flemings came in, his role changed. They went with sort of a co-point guard situation, but Milos plays now more off the ball and that's been an adjustment for him. He had been the guy that the ball had been in his hands, and he's kind of directing the flow of traffic. That role has gone to Kingston Fleming, so it's been an adjustment for him. But, Milos last year made his name in Houston history with a lot of big shots. One of them was in Arizona for that regular season game at the McHale Center, and then he had a big one in Tennessee, and then Purdue in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. So they've got the guys that have been in this position before. I think this all comes down to Tugler. He's the big man, and they had a guy who was a 6-year guy in Jawan Roberts who it was sort of the heart of things, and now Tugler is in there, and it worked a little bit, but the guy gets in foul trouble a lot, and he's on the bench for extended minutes, and that's where Houston changes and looks completely different. So for today's game, if he can stay on the court, they've got a good chance, just because they have to counter with what Arizona does inside. But if he gets into foul trouble, it could be a long day for Houston.
Joseph Duarte is our guest. It is your scouting report. It's brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960, here to get you there. Joseph Duarte on hand in Kansas City at the T-Mobile Arena for tonight's T-Mobile Center, I should say, for tonight's Big 12 championship game. I want to ask you, obviously Arizona won the game earlier this year at Fertitta Center. It's a place that Houston rarely loses. What was the reaction to that? Because I believe that ended, they were only the second time, there was only the second time in 53 games they'd lost at home, and it snapped an 18-game home winning streak. What was the reaction from the team? What was the reaction to the fan base to a home loss for Houston?
Well, I mean, again, like we talked about earlier, they just, this is a program that hadn't lost back-to-back in 7 years. So it was a little bit of a taking a step back. Kelvin would later kind of downplay it in terms of, hey, look, this losing streak happened because you had 3 great teams in a row.
Yeah.
If you spread them out, maybe we win one here and there. We don't lose all 3. So that was kind of the one part of it, but there was a little bit of soul searching. That was actually a quote given to us by a couple of the players where they really had to take a step back and look at things. They didn't feel like they were playing the defense that they were known for. They get into these offensive lapses where they go several minutes where they don't score. There was just things, even the hustle factor. They took plays off. One player said. So there was sort of an evaluation after that loss. And, of course, 2 days later, they go to Kansas, and it's not much better. So that stretch was sort of a defining moment for them, because after that, they haven't lost since. And they really feel like, they're playing well, but that there's another level. And in fact, one of the assistants coaches said on most nights, our good is good enough to win. But once you get into the NCAA tournament, good's not just going to cut it. You've got to be great, and I think last night will show that the level of competition, you've got to take it up a notch. So if Houston has that 40 minutes in them, now is probably the best time to start that, because you're pretty much one and done at this point moving forward.
Yeah, Joseph, 2 of those losses, obviously the Iowa State and the Kansas losses, were on Big Monday, that backloaded Big Monday schedule that provided us with some really, really great games in the month of February. What was just kind of your thoughts on the way that the conference backloaded the schedule to kind of create some of those matchups?
Yeah, and Kansas never loses on Big Monday under Bill Self, so that's one. At one of his coaches' shows, Kelvin Sampson brought up the fact that he did call the commissioner Brett Yormark and asked him, "Hey, I, as a defending conference champion or 2-time defending champion, they felt like they should have gotten at least one of those games at home." So it was a little unusual because those are not 2 easy places to play, and then you throw in, hey, we're gonna give you a home game, but it's against Arizona. But yeah, they felt like they had deserved having at least one of those. But I mean, this is an unusual year for the league from top to bottom. I mean, you can make a case for so many good Monday games. They played Texas Tech actually in the first 3 weeks of the season both times. So they got to see JT Thompson both times until he got hurt. So, yeah, the schedule had some little quirks in it this year, and Kelvin, as usual, made sure that he let the league know how he felt.
No Big Monday home game, and you had to go to game day on a Saturday in Lubbock. So not a lot of respect.
That's right,
there.
too.
Not a lot of respect there for the defending champions. But great coverage, regardless, for the entire conference this season. Hey, Joseph, appreciate you taking some time to join us. Enjoy the game today, and we appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for having me on. Bye-bye.
All right, Joseph Duarte, Houston Chronicle, with your scouting report.
And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The Scouting Report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960. Here to get you there.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends. With no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly, or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Morning begins in the Rincon Foothills. Rocking K, a master-planned community and place to call home, offering distinct neighborhoods designed to fit your lifestyle. Explore the outdoors, walk the trails, visit Saguaro National Park. Enjoy community parks and make new friends at Rocking K resident events. Walk to Vail School District's newest campus in Rocking K, Saguaro Creek. 17 model homes, 6 quality builders, move-in ready homes available from the 300s. Rocking K, designed by nature. A community by design.
Our daughter was addicted to pain meds, and for over 2 decades, she was lost to us. We tried to help, but the more we tried, the worse it got. She went to 18 different rehabs. We finally realized that to really love her, we needed to let her go, even when that meant her going to jail. When she got out, she went to Gospel Rescue Mission, and as the days turned into months, we knew we had our daughter back.
If you need help, or if you know someone who needs help, go to grmtucson.com.
For windows and doors that combine style, performance, and efficiency, come to the Window Depot. We carry a large selection of Milgard windows and patio doors, with many options in stock and available today. Choose from a variety of colors, styles, and energy-efficient designs that can help improve comfort while adding value to your home. From new builds to window replacements, our team can help you find the right Milgard products for your unique project. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or royaltucson.com.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we're here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Life's busy. Errands, kids, work, the I-10 grind. Who's got time to sit at a detail shop?
That's why Recon Auto Detailing comes to me. Mobile detailing keeps my car spotless without losing a minute of my day.
From mobile washes to in-shop ceramic coatings, tint, and paint protection, we're Tucson's one-stop shop for keeping your ride looking new. Convenience, care, confidence, that's Recon Auto Detailing. Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down, into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a 3 out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cat. of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Tugler tips the rebound to himself, though. Kick out Flemings. Flemings wants to attack. Flemings leaves it for Sinak, and Sinak slams it home for two.
Oh, yeah.
Off the Tugler screen, right wing Sinak. He's going to try a three. Got it!
Got it.
Chris Sinak from downtown. Flemings into the front court. Peterson matches up on him, finds Sinak. A left wing three. Got it!
Got it.
Chris Sinak has his second three of the night.
Wow.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
Yeah, Chris Sinak, 5 of 13 in the game last night, 3 of 4 from 3 at 17 points to help lead the Houston Cougars to a huge win over the Kansas Jayhawks. 69-47 was the final score in that game as the Cougars advance to the title game. Final hour of our show. We will update you on your availability report as the latest and final update has come out, as it does 90 minutes before tip-off. We will also, in this segment, begin to identify who potentially could be that Cougar that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin. Your Pest of the Game is brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Can we beat the book today? At Casino del Sol, Sol Sports, U of A is a 1.5-point favorite over the Cougars. Your over-under is 138.5. Keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive. Your starting lineup presented by Rocky & K. We'll also hear Tommy Lloyd's thoughts with Mackenzie Hamilton, who caught up with him after the shoot-around earlier today. Chris Sinak Jr., one of those fab freshmen that suits up for the Houston Cougars. Again, hot shooting performance for him last night in the win over the Houston Cougars as he made 3 of 4 three-pointers. Now, he is not necessarily a three-point shooter per se. In fact, he had not made a three-point shot in 4 games prior to that, going back to that loss at Kansas that we talked about. The 3 that he made last night matched his most in a game for a season. He had 3 against Baylor back in early January. He had 3 against Cincinnati. So just the 3rd time this season, he has made 3 trays in a game for Chris Sinak Jr.
He was the number 1 center in high school last year, Kelvin. I mean, like, the fact that we're talking about how many three-pointers the number 1 center coming out of high school had in his college games is like, that's just the era we live in, obviously. But I know you want, Kelvin, Chris Sinak to do a little bit more work at the elbow and show that athleticism around the rim. What is he, like 6'11", 240, and real bouncy?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they need a little bit more of an inside scoring presence, and you would have thought that he would have been able to be more of that guy, but he is more perimeter oriented when it comes to, like you said, trying to take some threes and looking for that mid-range jumper instead of banging in there. I think he needs another year to get to that.
Especially against Arizona's front.
Or especially against these guys.
Chris Sinak Jr. could potentially be a pest of the game. Here's Milos Uzan on him.
He's our best rebounder. He goes and gets the rebound off the rim. When he's hitting shots, sometimes Coach says, when he's hitting shots, he doesn't rebound. And today he did both, and that's the type of player he is. He can do that.
10 points per game average, 8 rebounds per game average while shooting 49% from the floor. Kelvin Sampson on his ability, though, to step back behind that arc at times and knock down a jumper.
Chris has been shooting the ball well for a while now. Now, when we played at Kansas, he had those shots, and I think he missed 5 in a row, and he's wide open on all 5. He just couldn't make one. And that's not easy to do. But I've seen a lot of players go into Fog Allen and do that. But I thought tonight that he trusted the work he's put in. Kellen does an awesome job with our 4s. And nobody works harder than Chris. Chris never has a bad practice. His attitude has never wavered. He's an easy kid to coach. I look forward to seeing him every day at 3. Because the greatest ability you can have, especially this time of the year, is dependability. And Chris is extremely, extremely dependable.
He mentioned Kellen coaches the bigs. That's his son, Kellen Sampson, who is on his staff with him there. So Chris Sinak Jr. could be a guy that we're eyeing as well. Emmanuel Sharp, who Joseph Duarte talked about. Emmanuel Sharp, a redshirt senior, 3 years in the system, averaging 16 points per game, shooting 37% from three. And one of the things he knows that the Cougars are going to have to do to try to win this game today is make sure that they get their bigs involved at the offensive end.
I mean, it's just a part of our team that, is really important. We can't just be all jump shots. I feel like sometimes, like, if our offense is stale, that's, a great way to get a great shot is to go inside. JoJo, Khalifa, Chris are good down there. We got to give them the chance to work. They work every day at that stuff. So what's the point in them working on it if we don't use it at all? So we've been making it a point to go inside more to Joe especially, and he's been really good. He's good in the post. I feel like people don't give him enough credit for the work he does down there. He bangs and he's good off the dribble, and it's helped us a lot.
Khalifa Sacco is their big off the bench at 6'11". He is out of France. And, of course, JoJo is Joseph Tugler, one of the best defenders in the league, but can also give you something at the offensive end. It seems like, and I said the last time around, it always seems like he has his good offensive games against the Arizona Wildcats throughout his career, although the U of A was able to hold him down the last time around in that respect. He could be a guy. Kingston Flemings could be the guy we choose today, the true freshman out of San Antonio who's averaging 17 points a game. He talked about why he chose to come and stay home and play at Houston.
Yeah, I think coming here, honestly, if you ever watched me in high school or I've never been like a scorer or anything, like, quote unquote. I like passing my teammates, everything like that. The shots I take, it's almost like, even if it's like not a not so good shot, getting the ball on the rim, knowing we have Chris, we have Chase, we have JoJo, sometimes a bad shot's the best shot we can get. Coach told me that one time, like early in the year, I wasn't taking some like quote unquote bad shots, and sometimes he's like, you gotta take those shots, make or miss, and we're gonna have people that can come and rebound. So coming here, I know coach is gonna push me. I need a coach like that, aggressive coach. That's me. I want to win. So having a coach like that who's gonna get on me every single day and who wants to win just as much as me, if not more. That's the reason I came here for sure.
That's interesting way to put that. A bad shot, taking a bad shot because you know that one of your guys is likely going to be there to get a rebound.
That's the Baylor offense, Kelvin.
Yeah. Oh, no. I told you guys that with Caleb Love. Caleb Love in a situation where we didn't have a lot of guys that could create their own shot. You look at Houston, they don't have a lot of guys that can create their own shot. Even when you think of the seniors that they have with Milos and Emmanuel, those guys are not real creative with the ball. That's why Kingston, the freshman, has the ball a lot of times because, he can get his own. So, yeah, when you have those opportunities, you got to make the most of them.
So maybe that guy, Kingston Flemings, could be our pest of the game. Or maybe it's a guy that he likes off the bench, a redshirt freshman who hasn't started, primarily a bench guy, doesn't score a lot, but is a pretty good defender by the name of Chase McCarty.
Everyone on the team knows who Chase is. He's emotional. He's good and bad way. He's an emotional player, but you need that on the team. He's gonna make all the hustle plays. He comes in, flies in for rebounds, gets tips, and when you have a player like that, it doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. But everyone on the team knows how important he is for this game.
All right, who's it going to be? Who's going to be that Cougar that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin today in Kansas City? Let's find out what the fellas think.
Who is the pest that the Wildcats need to be free from to win today's game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
All right, J-Dub, we'll go to you first. Who's your pest today?
There's so many to choose from, but I'll go with Milos Uzan because I just think he epitomizes the strength and toughness that Coach Sampson's all about. He makes those little plays, might not show up, Kelvin, as much on the stat sheet as some of the other guys, but he's kind of the core of what they're doing and really good at finding shots. You mentioned, maybe those other guys aren't great at creating, but late shot clock, late game scenarios, Coach Sampson always has a guard or two, and that's what Milos Uzan did a couple years ago against Arizona and McHale. So that's my pest today.
Kelvin Ifan, who do you like today?
I'm going to have to go with that other guard, Emmanuel Sharp. I mean, I know you would have thought it would have been Kingston, but I think Kingston is Kingston. I think he's going to do his thing, and he has the ball. I mean, he has the green light to do whatever he want to do. But Emmanuel Sharp is a guy that can knock down threes. If he gets to knocking down threes, that opens up one of those sides where Kingston can really start to get going as far as penetrating that side. So, to me, you got to really stop Emmanuel Sharp and don't let him have a big night.
All right, I went with JoJo Tugler for the game down in Houston. Do I want to stay? I think I'm going to go with Chris Sinak Jr. because, again, he got hot. He's been hot in this tournament the last couple of games. A big man who can pull out and shoot a three-point shot. We saw that yesterday's game was one of those games where if a team had a number of different guys who could make three-point shots, that could be problematic for the University of Arizona. So if Chris Sinak has a similar game today, that might at least have Houston in a potential position to win their second consecutive Big 12 tournament championship over U of A.
You know what's funny about Chris Sinak's game logs, if you go and look, DK, is the teams with the tough front lines that play strong interior defense, he's got 5 or more three-pointers versus. That's Arizona, Iowa State, Cincinnati, so forth. So, like, all the teams, Kelvin, that Chris Sinak's matched up against, where he maybe doesn't have the physicality to match some of the bigs inside, he steps out. And that's also by purpose, Kelvin. We talk a lot about inverting offense and pulling bigs away. I mean, Mo Krivas just camped underneath the rim all day yesterday. So with a big like that, if you got defensive responsibilities and he can get busy from the mid-range too, definitely imperative that you keep a hand in his face. You don't want him to get off early, Kelvin Ifan. You don't want to see a young man like that see his first 2 or 3 shots go through from the perimeter. That could be a long night.
All right, those are the guys that we believe will get underneath the Wildcats' skin today.
That's our best of the game. Brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program, 520-848-1290. Let's hear from Kelvin Sampson. We mentioned, obviously, this is a team that hangs their hat on defense. He discussed the pick-and-roll defense that the Cougars employ and why it is so effective for them in shutting down other teams' offenses.
Which is always the key to guarding pick and rolls is your point of attack has to be coordinated. The guy that's calling the screen and getting to the line of scrimmage and the guy that dictates to the screen, all the stuff that we work on. But it's who's got the roller? Is it a short roll? Is it a medium roll? Is it a long roll? And those are just hours and hours and hours of tedious preparation when nobody's watching. Just a lot of work, just a lot of sweat.
There you go. That is how the Cougars get it done so well at the defensive end
Real quick,
of the floor.
Aggressive hedge, blitz, these are all terms you'll hear about how they defend the pick and roll, Kelvin. Do you know who also does all those same things? TJ Olsenberger. Literally, they just saw it, DK. They just saw the same style of hard, aggressive doubles on those high pick and rolls yesterday. But obviously, Kelvin Sampson has perfected it. I mean, as far as like the numbers they put up in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, especially when they've got those really strong on-ball defending guards, yeah, it's really a beauty to watch how befuddled Kelvin Ifan, some guards, some really sure ball handlers look sometimes against those hard hedges and aggressive blitz traps that Houston throws at you.
And I think even more so than that, what people don't see is now they overplay everything as well. They leave the backside guy completely open. That's why if they can get the skip pass or if the big could catch it and make that extra pass over to a guy like Dale Arso, you'll have a lot of success. But a lot of time what happens is they play such tough defense on ball. It's tough to find that passing angle before they can rotate back out to the man.
And since we're talking, DK, about how they defend pick and rolls, I was so impressed with Arizona's game plan in that game in Houston because what they did was they would have the ball handler draw those doubles out as far away as possible, pull them all the way out to the sideline, and now all of a sudden you got 4 versus 3. The rest of the court is 4 versus 3 because you've pulled those 2 defenders, Kelvin, as far away from the play. It's move the ball via pass. Quick passes is how you defeat that kind of defense. Don't try to dribble around those because that's what they do. They practice how to take the ball through a double from ball handlers.
and you really use against them by pulling it way out, dragging it out, as they call it, you really use against them because they think that their trap is working. But when you're pulling them away, they think, oh, keep the trap on, keep the trap on. And tonight, when they feel Arizona pulling away, they're going to have to drop back quicker because if they keep the trap on, that's exactly what got them beat last time because, as they said, Arizona stretched them out and made that run for that big almost impossible to get back all the way back across the court and be able to challenge the shot.
Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, 520-848-1290 is the number if you want to get in and talk Arizona basketball. Our friend Amy Burton is in on the text groove, and she's talking barbecue in Kansas City. She said Q39 is awesome. Love their burnt ends and barbecue flavor. We bought their barbecue sauce to bring home a couple of years ago. It was so good. Amy, appreciate you checking in and listening. As always. All right, coming up, we will have an opportunity to beat the book in the next segment. Can we do it? Because nobody beat the book last night. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day continues after this timeout on Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
So, what is it that scares you the most?
The blue trucks from Essential Pest Control, Doctor. They leave bugs belly up.
I use one of those national companies.
Thanks, Doc. Those guys don't scare me.
Spring is bug season. Go blue with Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. Buy local and stop paying too much with those national providers. Essential Pest Control is a bug's worst nightmare.
I can't sleep at night.
Essential Pest Control. Call 866-3029. That's 866-3029. Or visit essentialpest.com.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put members' success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
It's Truck Month at O'Reilly Chevrolet, and supplier pricing is going on right now. That means huge savings on some of our most popular vehicles. Get up to $12,475 off the 2026 Silverado LD, up to $7,500 off the 2025 Blazer EV, and up to $2,500 off the 2026 Traverse. Truck Month is happening now, so don't miss out. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or go to O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet. My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is in the air and our warm temperatures are about to turn hot. Now is the time to take advantage of pre-summer savings before the hot summer weather. Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is offering 5-year, no-interest financing on the installation of green HVAC systems, OAC. Call now for your free estimate, 520-492-0748, or make your appointment online at picturockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
All right, right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Family outgrowing your car? Hughes Federal Credit Union can help you get the car you want and the rate you need. Hughes is one of the only financial institutions in the country that doesn't switch loan rates based on a qualified buyer's credit score. That means you get our one-rate guarantee regardless of your credit score. We promise. When it's time for your next new or used car, Hughes is here to take you further. Check out our low rates on hughesfcu.org/auto and apply today. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Korchinkov driving right on Jefferson. Stops at the right block. Out for Krivas. Jumper up and good from about 15 feet.
Yeah, excellent job there. Nice driving kick by Korchinkov. Able to get into the paint to hit Mo Krivas for the soft touch.
Motiejus Krivas, boy, didn't score a lot last night, but he had a huge block at the end of the game, as well as a huge rebound, offensive rebound that led to a slam dunk by Toby Awaka that helped the Wildcats stretch what at that point was I believe a 2-point lead to 4, if I'm not mistaken. Motiejus Krivas has now a career best 61 blocks on the season. He's just the 6th Wildcat to record 60-plus blocks in a season, and the first to do it since Christian Coloco did it 4 years ago when Christian had 102 blocks. We'll have to look into that list there and see who else is on.
It's Anthony
that
Cook,
list.
Anthony Cook, Anthony Cook, and Anthony Cook, as far as I'm concerned.
And Lauren Wood.
There you go. That's a good list to start right there. Brian Jeffries, the voice of the Wildcats, caught up with Motiejus Krivas.
U of A center Mo Krivas has started every game for the Wildcats, all 31. He's averaging almost 11 points, 8 rebounds a game. Obviously, big improvement for the junior big man who sat out most of last season due to injury. You have one area that you've improved upon a lot is your shot blocking ability. Is that something you can work on to become better at, or is it because of your maturity and experience?
This summer we worked a lot on defense, just all areas, so I think that helped a lot. But I would just say experience, just playing more teams, playing more games, just getting that feel, understanding helps a lot too.
How much fun is it, just where things sit right now? I mean, as the number 1 seed in the tournament, and is it even more fun playing basketball right now, or can you describe it?
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, that's why we practice so hard in the summer and at the start of the season, to be in these moments and take advantage of them.
Do you feel like winning this tournament is good for the team's momentum?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of examples before how a team gets hot in the tournament and just goes far in March Madness.
There you go, Motiejus Krivas, who again is just having a tremendous season at both the offensive and the defensive ends of the floor, making the all-defensive team for the University of Arizona Wildcats. Tommy Lloyd on just the improvement at both ends that he has gotten in this full season from Motiejus Krivas.
I mean, he's made a huge jump. You know, this is his second year of college, really. You know, he had the injury last year. And the injury started in the summer, and we tried to get through it. So he didn't really get a summer, 2 years ago, and then we were nursing it during the season. Then obviously his season ended. So he's just finally getting experience, and I'm really proud of him how he's impacted the game defensively. Because when I, first recruited him, I thought he was going to be like a dominant offensive center, and so I really talked to him this off season about the offense is going to come, but can you make yourself into a consistent defensive force and a defensive guy on the glass, and he's done that this year.
And just looking, I fished out the list here, guys. J-Dub mentioned Anthony Cook, who had, back in the 80s, years of 50, 69, 75. I mean,
it's just like
was a block machine for sure.
I was 12, 13, 14 during the Sean Elliott, because Anthony Cook was part of the same class as Sean Elliott and Kenny Lofton. And I was at every single home game. And I just remember, Kelvin, like, of course, Lauren Woods is probably going to be considered the best shot blocker in Arizona history. But the way Anthony Cook came off his man and how bouncy he was on his double jump, he would have need to probably put on 25, 30 pounds to play in the modern game because he was a little bit slight. But as far as my memory of watching Arizona basketball players who came off their man consistently and people didn't want to go in there, Anthony Cook's the guy I think of.
I don't know that it's interesting. I'm just looking at the numbers here. They only go back to 75, 76.
Well, they didn't count blocks. So like Lou Alcindor, for instance, when he played in college, Bill Walton, they say those guys, would have been up in like the 5, 6, 7 blocks a game kind of thing, but they didn't stat blocks during their era.
So Cook in 4 seasons, 50, 69, 75, and 84. Lauren Woods, 102 and 84 in 2 seasons. Channing Frye had 85 blocks his senior year at the University of Arizona. That was the most until the 102 that Coloco put up 4 years ago for Arizona. So good stuff there in terms of blocked shots.
I was going to say Derek Williams was one of those good help side shot blockers as well. He would come over.
Especially playing Washington,
right?
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day.
Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Along with Calvin Efon and JW Mad, my name is David Kelly. It's Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We are 30 minutes left in our show today. We are 1 hour away from tip-off in Kansas City of the Big 12 Conference Tournament Championship game between the number 2 Arizona Wildcats and the number 5 Houston Cougars. Wildcats a 1.5-point favorite in this game. Let's take a look at all of the games that are going on tournament-wise in college basketball.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
These are the finals. This might be a little bit of a surprise. Vanderbilt stomps Florida 91-74 in the SEC semifinals today. Vandy got a 20-point, 8-assist, 3-steal performance by Tyler Tanner in that game. So Vandy on to the title game. They will await the winner of the game going on right now. And the run continues for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is leading Arkansas 47-44, about 15 and a half minutes to go in the second half. Ole Miss 4-14 in conference play. 15-19 overall. If they can hold on in 15 and a half minutes, they're going to have a shot to play for the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament.
We were just talking about that's Chris Beery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him over there. I mean, yeah. So sometimes, man, these teams get into these tournaments, man, and they make a run for it.
The other final of the day, number 3 Michigan came from behind late to beat Wisconsin 68-65. So the Wolverines are in the Big Ten tournament championship game. They will await the winner of this game going on right now. 10 minutes to go. 18th ranked Purdue leading UCLA 53-46. ACC final today. Number 1 seed Duke and number 1 ranked Duke will take on Virginia. That's coming up at 5:30 in Charlotte. Also, the Big East tournament final today at 3:30 on Fox. 6th ranked UConn, number 13 St. John's, and of course the Big 12 tournament conference final at 3:10 3:10 listed as the official start time on that game in Kansas City, Houston, and Arizona.
Pretty sure they just played, too. Let's see.
UConn and
they
St. John's.
played about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think that was. I think UConn won.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
So we'll see if Rick Pitino and company has anything for him today in that final.
That was the one where St. John's missed.
Yeah,
like 26 consecutive shots,
something
or whatever.
like that in the second half. Yeah, I remember that.
They went 17 minutes without a field goal. Remember that?
Exactly, 17 minutes without a field goal. You've got a lot going on around the U of A today. We've got so softball's playing a doubleheader. In fact, they lost game one has already been played there. They lost game one of the doubleheader by run rule, so that snaps the winning streak of run rule games at 9. As Texas Tech wins today by a score of 14-6, so they will now play the second game of that doubleheader, as there's a weather expected in Lubbock, so they decided to move that tournament up and play the final two games today. Women's tennis is at ASU today, so that is a Territorial Cup Series match. In fact, that got underway at noon. I'll see if we can get a final on that before we get out of here. Baseball is at Utah. The Wildcats rallied last night in the 9th and won it in the 11th. So game 2 of that series, that is a first pitch. Actually, that has started as well at 1 o'clock. And tennis at Utah as well. Tonight, beach volleyball is over at the Mustang Roundup at San Luis Obispo. They'll play Santa Clara as well as UC Davis today. The Wildcats also are at the NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships. Let me see what we've got here. Arizona baseball is trailing Utah 4-3. That game is in the top of the 4th, and it looks, I'm wondering if this is the score for game 1 or game 2 because it's very similar, showing a 14-6 loss to Texas Tech for Arizona. I'm not sure if that's game 1 or game 2. We'll double check on that. All right, that's your scoreboard.
The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's hear real quick. We mentioned earlier in the show, 7 U of A. So they have 8 rotational players for the most part that Tommy has played. 7 of those 8 rotational players have over 100 field goals this season. Koa Pete last night talked a little bit about that.
I mean, we play fast, so, I mean, guys are coming in and out, and that depth really helps us for sure, and it gives us rest, you know, and we got a lot of killers on the team, so I'm proud of everybody.
Yeah, obviously, Dwayne Aristo, the lone player in that rotation that does not have over 100. I believe he has 43 on the season, but Arizona, the only school in the country that has 7 guys with over 100 field goals made this season.
And that's Coach Lloyd's offense, Kelvin. So, like, ideally, you want to have 5 threats on the court at all times in Coach Lloyd's system, and you want to have 2-3 guys, like as you mentioned earlier in the show, have a really solid guard, really solid big who can play either big spots, come in, who are going to be, you know, looking at the rim, are going to be looking to affect the game as soon as they get in there and aren't scared, right? And Deli, you know, Tobe, best rebounder in the nation, is coming off the bench. This team is perfectly suited for what Coach Lloyd is trying to do because they're trying to spread it around. They're trying to make sure that everybody at all times, Kelvin, the perfect version of Coach Lloyd's offense is all 5 guys are a threat.
Couple of things real quick here, guys. Koa Pete obviously didn't score much yesterday, just 4 points, 6 rebounds, but he did have 5 assists, and that was a season high in that respect for him. And obviously, Ivan Karchinkov had the primary defensive assignment yesterday on Milan Momcilovic, and he went off hitting 8 3-point shots. Did you guys notice anything in that defense at all that the Wildcats, or at least Ivan, might need to shore up going into today's game?
It's all cat and mouse. And in the first game, Ivan Karchinkov was really strong on those ball screens as always, fought over them. It was very connected to Momcilovic, but this time around, Momcilovic, if you listen to his post-game comments, what he said was, I studied tape. Ivan Karchenkov's a hell of a defender, and I knew this time I had to use his aggressive fighting over those screens against him. So he went back away from the grain, Kelvin, several times. I don't think it's much what Arizona did as what Iowa State saw on film, that they could maybe take advantage of Ivan Karchenkov's aggressive nature of following Momcilovic all around the court.
Does that worry you? Because if you remember last year's championship game against Houston, one of the things Kelvin Sampson talked about was how they sought out matchups
Hunted
matchups that they felt would be to their benefit.
Well, they hunted Delhi, didn't they?
Yeah.
And
he was one of them.
You can't do that, right?
Right. And
Not
a lot
now.
of times at this part of the year, that's why I always say you have to have those guards that can create and make things happen because they know each other. So they're going to know each other plays. They're going to know how to stop each other. And you're going to have guys who can break away and make stuff happen, off the dribble. And that's what Houston had last year. They got that a little bit in Kingston this year. So our defense is going to have to really lock in and make sure that our matchups are tight.
All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We will hear from your head coach his game day thoughts. Mackenzie Hamilton caught up with him after shoot-around earlier today in Kansas City. We'll see what the head coach had to say about his team's championship tilt today with the Houston Cougars. Calvin Ifan and J.W. Madner here. I'm David Kelly. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day wraps up after this final timeout on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Why do I spend so much time educating our youth about financial wellness? I have seen the fire ignite inside of young adults when I show them how the power of compound investing can change their futures. This is Natalie Fernandez at Meridian Wealth Management, and I'm committed to affecting change with our youth. An idea for all of you listening today, gift a Roth IRA contribution for the holidays or birthdays for your kids and grandkids. Contact our office at 520-719-1433 for guidance and details. The change begins with us.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hi guys, I'm back. What's new?
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio.
All the Scratch and Dent merchandise has its own new studio.
There were so many Scratch and Dent discounted items. Now they have a place of their own.
I love it. A whole Scratch and Dent studio right next to Tucson Appliance. They don't look like Scratch and Dent,
but it shows in the low prices.
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio. Proud local supporters of the Southern Arizona Heartball. Only at Tucson Appliance where you are a priority.
Morning begins in the Rincon foothills. Rocking K, a master-planned community and place to call home, offering distinct neighborhoods designed to fit your lifestyle. Explore the outdoors, walk the trails, visit Saguaro National Park. Enjoy community parks and make new friends at Rocking K resident events. Walk to Vail School District's newest campus in Rocking K, Saguaro Creek. 17 model homes, 6 quality builders, move-in ready homes available from the 300s. Rocking K, designed by nature. A community by design.
In Tucson, Cool Willie's knows desert dust, dirt, and debris are the #1 AC killers when the heat hits. That's why our signature tune-up is the best way to get your system summer ready. Right now, we're offering a preseason AC reset, a deep internal clean where our technicians remove built-up dust, restore airflow, and prep your home before temperatures spike. First-time customers get their preseason AC reset for just $39, normally $129. Appointments fill fast before the first heat wave. Go to coolwillies.com and click Book Now.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
It's a full court press this March at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Join our $1 million March Mania promotion for your shot at $1 million with your bracket picks. Or win $100,000 with a perfect prop card now through April 6th. Swipe your Club Soul card daily for a free drawing entry. Plus, every 200 slot and table points is an additional entry. Then join us April 6th for the grand finale drawing, only at Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
It's Truck Month at O'Reilly Chevrolet, and supplier pricing is going on right now. Check out our great lineup and save big. Get up to $12,475 off the 2026 Silverado LD, up to $7,500 off the 2025 Blazer EV, and up to $2,500 off the 2026 Traverse. Truck Month is happening now. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or go to O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Coach, Tommy Lloyd here with the Right Way team.
Great news! Free furnace season has been extended through the end of March. Have you been thinking about replacing your heating and cooling system this year? To spark business, we're giving away an 80% gas furnace or a heat pump air handler with the purchase of a new air conditioning system.
And we're offering up to 60 months no-interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 to book your free estimate today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Cats looking to regain the lead. Pete stops top of the key. Throw it down for Awaka. Posted, right corner, Del Orso. Another three. Good again for Delhi, and the Cats are in front.
Tucson, it's time to beat the book. Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the numbers and find out how you should bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, nobody beat anything last night. Everybody lost on the Wildcats by 3.5 because they only won by 2. And taking the under, and it was way over last night. So we got Houston minus 1.5 today. Okay, I'll go first. And I'm sticking with the Wildcats today. I'm going with the Wildcats and laying the 1.5. I think they're going to finish this thing out. I felt good yesterday that they were going to win. I thought they would maybe win by just a little bit more and cover that 3.5 line. They didn't, but I think they win again today, and I think they win by definitely. I don't think it's going to be a 1-point game because that would be the only way they lose or lose outright. But they win by 2 or more today. J.W. Madden.
Yeah, I like the Cats in this game. I think they match up well with Houston, so long as they, control the guards from Goodenough. Because if Houston's guards have a big day and they're knocking shots down, especially contested shots, then that's how their offense is at its best. But yeah, I like Arizona in a close game. I would say 3 or 4 points.
Kelvin.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys, man. I just think that, Arizona's just a little, I don't know, it seems like they are more Houston than Houston this year. Let's just say it that way. It's more physical, and I think that's what's going to end up winning the game today.
All right, last night, if you looked at the numbers, 116 points.
I'm going to say under.
Houston, Kansas, 116 total points. 138.5. So you're already saying under on that.
Yeah, that's the joke. I don't care what the number is. It's going to be under.
Kelvin, under 138.5 or over 138.5?
Yeah, I got to go under. I think it's going to be a physical game. It may get going a little bit, but the way things been looking, I think physical. Last game for the conference championship, it usually always be a defensive battle.
All right, I've got a little bit of a lead to play with here at +5 with anywhere between 1 or 2 and 8 games to play. So I'll take the over. I'll see if I can get another edge there, and I'll take the over 138.5.
Yeah, I mean the other factor is now that the balls aren't overinflated.
Yeah, exactly.
Shots are going in. So
shots are going in.
Watch, it's going to be like
the feel
85 to 87.
Is that how you did it, Kelvin? Put your thumbs in it like Tommy said he did to get the feel for the ball.
You squeeze it like this. Now you squeeze it just like you teach a big to squeeze a rebound. Squeeze that pill like this, and you could tell if it's overinflated or not. Sure.
Because if you could squeeze it a little bit, you can shoot it better. Comes off those fingertips way better.
Right. All right. We'll see who beats the book after the game tonight.
That is how you bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, we're going to hear coming up from Kelvin Sampson and Tommy Lloyd. J-Dub, though, play us that final shot from last night one more time before we hear from Jaden Bradley and Anthony Del Orso on the end of that game last night.
Arizona will not call a timeout. Bradley walks it across midcourt. 8 seconds left. 7, 6, 5. Bradley driving on Torre. looking for the shot, drives right, hang it from there, it's good! And the Cats have won it! Jaden Bradley hangs it for two, Cats on to the finals!
Jaden Bradley, an absolute closer, the player of the year, makes a play of the year play at the end.
Absolutely nailing that call, Brian Jeffries and Reggie Geary, who will be on the call again today. Brian with the play-by-play, Reggie with the analysis. I like that. The player of the year making a play of the year, play of the night. That was really good between both those broadcasters last night. So, Jaden Bradley, Anthony Del Orso, was that the best game in the Big 12 this season?
For me, I think it was just the back and forth. Iowa State, their defense, the offense ability. Delhi was hitting shots. Tobe was on the glass. Everybody contributed to this game. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think you play big games. We played a bunch of big games this year, and it just feels like it keeps on getting tougher and tougher down the road. They were playing great. We were playing great, and you enter that kind of flow state. And guys just brought everything. I mean, there was multiple facets of the game other than just shooting that go unnoticed. But we definitely, pay attention to that.
I'm not going to say I know whether or not there were any buzzer beaters in the league this year amongst any of the big. When we talk about the major teams, the teams at the top, and I don't think there were any other buzzer beaters off the top of my head. So that definitely, when you have the two teams as ranked as highly top 10 matchup, I would think that definitely would be probably the best game of the year in the Big 12 so far.
And I was thinking, which one was better, the Caleb Love shot or that shot that he made right there? That Jaden Bradley. Yeah, that Caleb Love.
Obviously the Jaden Bradley, because it was the shot. I mean, Caleb got you to overtime, but you still had to win that game in overtime. Jaden Bradley, that was for the win.
The finisher.
That was the finisher right there. That was the Mariano Rivera. Right there.
And it's
Ryan
a tournament
Hansen.
game. And it's a tournament game. I'm pretty sure that was a regular season game.
Right. No question. No question that was bigger. All right, let's hear from the head coach. Mackenzie Hamilton caught up with him after shoot-around, get his assessment of how he feels on game day. Arizona and Houston straight ahead.
Here with head coach Tommy Lloyd ahead of tonight's Big 12 championship game. First of all, coach, congratulations. Second of all, I have to ask about last night's thriller before we get to tonight's matchup. What was your perspective as Jaden Bradley takes the ball down the court, waves his team on, and hits that buzzer beater?
Well, as a coach, the ball was in the right guy's hands, and the score's tied, so you feel like pretty good. Let's just make sure we don't do anything dumb, don't get an over the back foul or anything, and worst case scenario, we're going to overtime. But so he's come down and he got his momentum going that way. He's had a lot of success shooting those mid-range shots this year, and we let it go. I thought I had a good chance, and obviously it's nothing but net, and it was a great feeling.
Obviously, we saw the dog pile. What were you doing in that moment?
I was probably over there congratulating the other coach and consoling him a little bit. Iowa State played their butts off, and they made us dig super deep, and they kind of had us on the edge numerous times. So we were fortunate to still be in the game.
After a tough game like that one, and also a fun one too, how does your team now balance the emotion and momentum of that big win, but also staying cool, calm, and collected today?
Well, you just move on. You move on as a competitor. You got a great opportunity today. You're playing a great program that has a lot of pride and is really tough. So, if you think holding on to the feelings of yesterday are going to get you the result you want today, you're crazy. So we need to move past that one, be mature competitors, and come out and get ready for a fight.
It's a rematch of last year's Big 12 title game. Obviously, two different teams now. You have faced Houston before this spring. What is your main message to your team ahead of this one?
Our main message is we're built for it, and but don't take anything for granted. You're going to have to come out and compete. You're going to have to go toe to toe. There's no tricks that are going to win this game. So as a competitor, get ready for the fight. You don't get many opportunities to win a championship, and let's see if we can take advantage of it.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Wildcats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
All right, keys to the game. Arizona, number 2. Houston, number 5. Kelvin Ifan, what do the Wildcats need to do to win today?
I think we can't forget about Milos Uzane and Emmanuel Sharp, man. I think you can't let those guys get going. They're comfortable. They've won this championship before. You don't want to let those guys get hot. You don't want to let those guys, get a chance to get going. So really lock in on those guys. I understand what Kingston Flemings brings to the game, but this is his first time there. These other guys have been there, done that. Need to lock in on those guys. Knock down free throws. They're going to foul. Houston will foul. You have to knock down free throws. We were 20 for 31 at third place. That won't work this time. We have to be able to be a little bit better at that free throw line against those guys. And then lastly, take care of the basketball. We only had 5 turnovers at Houston. I think that's the big reason why we won. I think it took the steam out of Houston's traps because they just felt like they couldn't turn us over. I think another effort like that is gonna be what is gonna be needed to win this game.
JW Madden.
Well, for the first time all year, guys, I'm going to give some keys for the fans. Fans like Doug, who gets a little bit nervous. Paul gets a little bit nervous. So what you're going to do first is you're going to take your sliced onions and some olive oil and salt and pepper, and you're going to put them into a pan on low for about 30 minutes. Stir it every 5 or so minutes until those are nice and caramelized. Brown some chicken breast, add some stock about halfway up, and cover that. Simmer for about 20 minutes. Then you're going to shred the chicken, put it over some really good corn chips. Add your favorite cheese, really important, and some really good salsa. Put it in your oven about 350, baked after about 10 minutes. Nice beverage. If you're a beer drinker, drink a beer, soda, whatever you need. Kick your feet up on your favorite chair and enjoy a game between 2 Final Four potential contenders. It's just going to be a great game tonight. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I thought Kelvin hit it on the head with the free throws. I think any championship game, whether it's a tournament championship game in the regular season, one of the METs, or whether it's a postseason conference tournament, or when you get to the NCAA tournament, you want to hit your free throws in order to be able to assure yourself you can win those games. I still go back to that Memphis game against Kansas that still pains me as somebody that was living in Memphis at the time, and they should have won that game but couldn't hit free throws down the stretch. I also think you got to hit a certain number of threes, kind of like you did yesterday. I mean, what did they? I think they finished 8 of 16 yesterday. I think when you get into games like this, you do have to make threes, and I thought we saw the Wildcats do that in the game last night. I'd like to see maybe about the same amount, 8 3-point shots made for the Wildcats in this contest. And I think Jaden Bradley is kind of the key to all of this in terms of keeping the turnovers down low, but pressing the tempo at the same time. Because, like you said, this is a Houston team that wants to defend. So the Wildcats are going to have to try to find ways to get easy baskets. And I think if Jaden Bradley pushes the tempo today, that the Wildcats have a chance to obviously not fall into the same trap that Kansas did, where you're missing 16 shots in a row trying to make everything from the outside. That's what the Wildcats need to do to win against Houston.
Those are our keys for today's game. The keys to the game. Brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different. The foundation of a great basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature.
Jaden Bradley, 6'3", senior guard, averages 13 points and 5 assists. Braden Burries, freshman guard out of San Bernardino, 16 points, 5 rebounds. We'll keep an eye on him. The man in the middle is Motiejus Krivas, 7'2", out of Chule, Lithuania, 11 points and 8 rebounds. Koa Pete, freshman forward from here in Chandler, Arizona, 13 points and 5 rebounds. Ivan Karchinkov is the forward out of Munich, and he is 10 points and 4 rebounds. Coming up next, the Big 12 championship game. Brian Jeffries, Reggie Geary have the call. Houston and Arizona. We'll talk to you after the game. Bear down, Arizona.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with Mad March savings all month long. Now's the time to save big with big deals on major brand tires like the long-lasting, quiet-riding Michelin Defender 2 and slam dunk savings on automotive repairs with big rebates up to $100. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 convenient locations are ready to assist on your next championship drive. Check out jackfurriers.com for even more savings. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is in the air and our warm temperatures are about to turn hot. Now is the time to take advantage of pre-summer savings before the hot summer weather. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is offering 5-year, no-interest financing on the installation of green HVAC systems, OAC. Call now for your free estimate, 520-492-0748, or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
When it comes to basketball, nothing beats Wildcat basketball.
The Wildcats can dribble it out. Champions in the Big 12, Arizona Wildcats.
This is the Phillips 66 Big 12 tournament.
Stolen by Karchinkov by the breakaway. There goes Yvonne to the bucket. Slam it home. A walk to the offensive rebound. Play it up good. And he's fouled. Backdoor cut to Burries. Drives the baseline and slams it home. 3-on-1 ahead to Bradley. And shoot an open three and score it. Rivas catches it inside. Double team right block. Jump hook over it is good. Aristode left corner three. Got it. Del Orso for three. Buries it. He lost the defense. The bucket. Hammer it home.
Stay tuned for a complete preview of today's game, including a look at the Cats' opponent, scores from games around the country, and the pregame thoughts of head coach Tommy Lloyd. Countdown to tip-off is brought to you by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Visit hughesfcu.org/Wildcats to learn why Arizona fans choose Hughes. Now, Arizona Sports Enterprises is proud to present Wildcat Basketball.
In a rematch of last season's title game, the Arizona Wildcats and Houston Cougars will battle for the Big 12 tournament title today in Kansas City. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to the sounds of T-Mobile Center, where the seeds have aligned to give us number 1 versus number 2. The conference champ Wildcats have won 8 straight games. They interplay today with a record of 31-2. Houston has won 5 in a row. The Cougars are 28-5. Today's winner will receive the Big 12's automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, although both teams will be a high seed when the brackets are unveiled tomorrow. The Wildcats have advanced to the title game with victories over UCF and Iowa State. Houston has defeated BYU and Kansas. Arizona won the only regular season meeting between the two teams, 73-66 in Houston. That was on February 21st. Defense will again be in the spotlight today. Ken Palm rates Arizona 3rd and Houston 5th nationally in defensive efficiency. Maybe not a lot of scoring. We'll see. 40 minutes to a tournament trophy. Cats and Cougs do battle from Arizona Sports Enterprises.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free interest-earning checking account with no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly, or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Every day begins with the promise of something new, a new perspective, a fresh start. At Banner University Medicine, the University of Arizona Cancer Center helps lead nearly 500 active clinical trials. We're one of the first to treat Parkinson's with a patient's own cells, and we're experts in treating heart rhythm disorders, all while training over 1,300 doctors every year. Impressive, right? It's just another Banner day. Banner University Medicine.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
That won the game. Arizona held the Cougars to 36%, and the Wildcats turned the ball over just 5 times in that game. And Reggie